would be the sound of my water bottle falling over. Okay. Well, not a great way to start things up, but we are here nonetheless. Okay. Hey there, everyone. How is everybody doing today? Who's ready to debate you on Toy Story 4? Not me. I've had enough of that for a lifetime. I don't ever want to do that again. That was pain-inducing is what that was. Making my series was frustrating enough. Don't know that I want to keep... I mean, it was interesting, certainly, to see how people react to criticisms of the movie live, because I've seen defenses in comments before. In fact, we actually went over a couple of them. Interestingly enough, we started off the stream after the Xbox presentation talking about how Toy Story 4 is crap and going over our defenses for it, and then the stream ended with a debate on Toy Story 4 with Brooks. So, funny how life works out. Playing a Smash Tournament while listening to this? Well, good luck to you in your Smash Tournament. In the meantime, though, I am going to be playing Dragon's Lair 3D, because for those who don't know, this game came out, assuming... Okay, there it is. Didn't pick up on OBS for a second there. But, for those of you who don't know, this game came out 19 years ago today, and it is my absolute all-time favorite game, so I'm going to be streaming it today, just to kind of chill, relax a bit. Decided to dial back and just chill playing favorite game. Yeah, basically, after the stressful nightmare that, well, I mean, it didn't start out stressful. It started out very chill. Just playing Halo with some friends and talking to all of you. Then it got out of hand. I mean, it was interesting from what I've heard to watch, but to be a part in it was pain. It was very much pain. Anyway, how am I doing? I am doing just fine today. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing this game, so that's something. Had a dentist appointment today, which went about as good as dentist appointments go. Although it was... The person who cleaned my teeth kind of creeped me out a bit, because as she was doing it, she pointed out how I need to pay extra attention, like, brush my canine tooth much more carefully, because, and she said this exact thing verbatim, the canine tooth is her favorite tooth. And she, like, mimicked stroking it in air, so a little creepy to hear that while you're lying on the dentist chair while she's leering over you with sharp tools in her hands, speaking like a serial killer about how the canine tooth is her favorite tooth. So that's a little creepy. But other than that, today is going just fine for me. How can I play this game? Well, unfortunately, the company that made it went out of business years ago, so I don't think they're actually making copies of this anymore. But you can definitely find some copies on eBay. It's available on PC. I'm obviously playing a PC right now. I have the CD for it, and I'm playing it off the CD. It's on Xbox, and it's on GameCube, and it's on PlayStation 2. So you can probably find a copy from all those games on eBay, or through, I guess Dolphin is also an option for GameCube, but there are copies out there for you to buy if you are interested. But we're just gonna get things started. Smooth shaded characters to improve the look of it a bit. So yeah, after the stressful stream on Monday, we're just gonna take a chill pill today and play a game that I have probably played more than anything else. I don't know the exact number, but if I were to rank them up and count how many times I've played games that I own, this probably comes out on top. Just through sheer... Just through the fact that it's my favorite of all time. Now he lifts to the high seas you go. If you can get your hands on a copy of this game, it is definitely a blast to play. At least Spark Brush was my dentist, if you know what I mean. Yeah, well, I mean, I probably wouldn't have made it out of the dentist's office if Spark Brush was my dentist. So yeah, you're right about that. At least we haven't quite hit rock bottom on that note. I think Dragonstone Software went out of business years ago, so sadly they're not too, they won't be making anything else. I don't actually know what happened to them. I mean, I assume all the people who worked there got jobs elsewhere, but I don't actually know what the aftermath was after their downfall. yeah, if you're interested in playing this game for yourself, then you can, of course, save the stream for later and just go play it for yourself. But if you would rather just watch me play through it, then you are more than welcome to tag along for the ride, nonetheless. And I'm guessing I'll probably be able to get through this game in 3 to 4 hours, because the average playtime for this game is anywhere between 4 to 7 hours, based purely on the other people I've seen on YouTube who play this game. Their Let's Plays range anywhere from 4 to 7 hours. So, and obviously that depends on how quickly you get through the puzzles, how quickly you complete the platforming challenges, how quickly you beat bosses and all that. So, but I know this game like the back of my hand, so barring any unforeseen circumstances where I just fail miserably at something, which could happen, I imagine that we'll probably get through this at a decently efficient rate, around 3 to 4 hours. Hopefully, anyway. That's the game plan. And you may have seen me play through this game before. You may have seen my initial walkthrough. You may have seen the video where I essentially praised the ever-living hell of this game. Or you might have seen a couple months ago, back in June, I streamed this game on Twitch after it came out. Or not after it came out. After I finished my Danganronpa 3 series. Because I just like, well, I've now finished the worst thing I've ever covered on the channel. So now let's play the best thing I've ever covered on the channel. Interesting how fast we can speedrun this game. Interestingly, I've never actually watched a speedrun, but thinking about it, I'm sure you could probably get through this decently. If you know the levels, and you just skip every combat encounter, and just kind of blitz past all the puzzles and all that, I'm sure you could actually get there. I've never tried speedrunning because I've never been a speedrunner. I've never been super interested in speedrunning games. But thinking about it, I'm sure... Actually, I wonder what the world record is. When we go into the next cutscene, I'll look up what the world record is for this game. I'm actually curious to see what it is. But first, gotta deal with this guy, which I appear to have missed. There we go. Now I can look it up. Dragon's Lair 3D world record speedrun. I assume someone's personal best, any percent, 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 42 seconds. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like, actually, I might have guessed a little bit longer than that, but I can see, yeah, because I guess I'm also not counting any, because there could be glitches in the game that you can, like, use to bypass certain sections. Because Battle for Bikini Bottom has that. Battle for Bikini Bottom is a very, very popular speedrunning game because it has a lot of sections you can, or a lot of glitches you can use to bypass certain sections. So, I haven't looked into the speedrunning for this game, so I don't know if there are any major glitches like that. Well, I feel like if there were, I probably would have found them just to the sheer amount of times I've played the game. But who knows? Point being, I can see how the game can be completed that quickly, if you know what you're doing. But it's never been something I've been particularly interested in. Also, I didn't mention it. Trigger this real quick. But I reached, I think during the stream on Monday, I hit 4.9k subs, which means we are growing dangerously close to me having to play Sunshine again. Because for those who caught it on my Mario Kart stream a couple weeks ago, I said that if I hit 5k subs before the end of the year, I would stream Sunshine again. Just a full play, not 100% playthrough, but a full start to boss finish playthrough in January. And we are getting dangerously close to the point where that would actually become a reality. So, please have mercy on me.
However, evil beings guard the essences. Defeat the monsters to retrieve them all. The essences can help you.
Previously on Game Master 13, Brooks and Payne. Yeah, basically that was the last four. I did not anticipate it going that far. Although honestly, whether I had been streaming or not, I still would have pushed to get his answer because I don't like leaving. I don't like it when someone just says something controversial, or says something like "this is great" or "this is terrible," and then someone asks for more questions, and then they're just like, "Oh, I don't care. Let's just I said the thing. Let me say the thing I wanted to say, and then we can just completely ignore what was ever said. Just move on." I hate that mindset. If you make a claim like that, be prepared to defend it. If you make an assertive claim like Toy Story 4's ending is genius or is good or makes sense of Woody's character, and you better be damn well prepared to defend it if pressed on it. And if you can't defend it, then don't make the statement. He clearly was not. Honestly, I think what it was, he was just trying to piss me off. I think what happened is he said it because he wanted to try to piss me off, was completely unprepared. Oh, talking with a wall of books? You mean like this thing right here? Yeah, this is an accurate representation of me trying to get through to Brooks. In other words, it got me nowhere. Hey there, good evening. What did Neil think about the conversation you had with Brooks? He said it is the most brain cells he's lost in his life, listening to Brooks fail miserably to string together basic sentences. But yeah, I think what happened is he said the comment offhanded to try to piss me off, and then he didn't expect me to push back on it, and then when I did push back on it, he was clearly unprepared to defend his position. Clearly unprepared. But instead of doing the sensible thing and just saying, either admitting he was wrong or saying he doesn't remember enough of the movie to actually reasonably... Actually, wait, let me show you something. Before I go further, let me just save right here. This is what it felt like to talk with Brooks about Toy Story 4. That's about what that felt like on Monday. That of course, being me. Good evening. I think the Earth is a big donut. Why? Well, don't think about it. Just hear this controversy. Yeah, just... That's the strat. Just make a controversial statement, and then when pressed on it, just say, well, look, it's just my interpretation. So you don't have to, I don't have to actually provide reasoning. Oh, what, you expect me to provide, like, evidence and reasoning for the thing I said? Pfft, what world do you live in? Reality? That's not where I am. I live in the world where I can say whatever I want, consequence-free, and just never back up my assertions whatsoever. That's the world I live in.
Red potions restore
apparently. Honestly, though, I think Joe might have pissed me off more. Like, I'd like to remind everyone that Joe said, or at least he tried to say before Brooks surprisingly stopped him, was, we should keep in mind that it's just a children's film, which happened not long after he also said, are those shorts even canon? Like, that when he said that, my brain wanted to just fold in on itself immediately. Like, dear God, the lengths that people will go to try to defend Toy Story 4. Like, at some point, I'm expecting someone to say, lol, Toy Story 3 isn't canon. I realize Colin Sheet is actually... Oh, jeez. Yeah, just say a controversial assertive thing like that, and then when I press you on why you said that thing, all you have to say is, well, that's just my interpretation. And then the conversation ends immediately. What is evidence? All my homies just interpret and defy all laws. It's basically, yeah. I couldn't... Because the thing is, he wasn't even really trying to go for the defense of, oh, it's just my interpretation that Woody... that it's in character for Woody to do what he did. He was trying to defend it with reasoning and argumentation. The problem is that I kept asking him over and over and over again, specifically what in that scene even remotely implies that Woody is thinking about helping people when he runs into Bo's arms. And he couldn't give me even a single reason other than saying he sat there silent and thought. And I'm actually baffled that he thinks that's even a halfway legitimate defense of something. Because that could literally mean he was thinking about anything. Hello there, Dementio Demente. Welcome to the stream today. Just chilling talking about the aftermath of the insanity that was Monday's stream. Imagine if Josh Cooley, Kodaka, and the Free Guy writers all worked together on a project. You would literally have the worst story ever created. It would be like the spawn. It'd be the spawn of the anti-writer. It'd just be 3 hack writers in a room together. Honestly, I don't even know that it could be done. Because here's the thing. Those 3 writers all betray their audiences in different ways. Because, like, the Free Guy movie is just broken from a plot perspective. Kodaka's stories are, like, morally reprehensible, and whereas Josh Cooley goes for character. So, actually, if you combine... Oh, God. I just realized you've created a monster. Because they're all... Josh Cooley is the slayer of character, the Free Guy writers are the slayer of plot, and Kodaka is the slayer of themes and world building. So you've now created the ultimate writing monster. They cannot be stopped. We're all doomed now. We are back in agony. We're supposed to chill and enjoy the game. I'm still enjoying the game.
The ring is one of
when we're not in the midst of the debate, until I can kind of talk about we can kind of chill and talk about the aftermath. When's the Free Guy review coming out? When it is finished. I'm not gonna. I know it's really lazy to say, well, it'll be out when it's finished, because it leaves you guys in limbo of not really knowing exactly when it's gonna be done. But I'd rather not make promises anymore that I can't keep, because I mean, I made an effort to get all of the Toy Story 4 videos out in October, and I did, well, October, and over the course of a single month, I got them all out. But, I still would rather kind of be like, I'm gonna take my time to work to make sure this is as good as it can possibly be, and then it'll be ready when it's ready. I'm going to still try to get it done by the end of the year. I make no promises, though, because I'm gonna relax a bit on my workload for the amount of time I spend working on those types of videos, because they take a long time to make. I think it'd be a close race between which took longer to make, the Toy Story 4 series or the Danganronpa 3 series. You'd think it'd be Danganronpa 3 because there were more videos and the show I was covering took longer to watch. But I also spent a lot more time rewatching Toy Story 4 and like digging into the research for it and redrafting that script, because I had more time to redraft that script, because Toy Story 4 was a 2-month project, whereas Danganronpa 3 was a 1-month project. That should have been a 3-month project. So, one probably required more work, but the other was done under a short amount of time and under a lot more stress, so unsure what the answer to that one would probably be. But yeah, just to circle back to the original question, do not know when Free Guy Review is coming out, but I will keep you guys updated as I mean, I gave us a little sneak peek of the video on Monday, so you guys can kind of, just to give you guys an idea of how far along in the production process I am. But I will keep you guys as updated as I can as to when it will be ready for you all to watch. Ultra Despair Goals has 67% of Metacritic. Mix is too low for that trash heap. Yeah, well, you say that, but it's also worth noting that in the eyes of a site like Metacritic, mixed essentially means horrible. If you get a mixed review on a site like Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes, it means your film is horrible, essentially. Because that means you've gotten the actual proper, quote-unquote, critics to be like, oh, this is crap. But they're not allowed to actually, like, their scale is skewed for what constitutes good and not. So if you see something if you see a mainstream critic get something a mixed review, you're like, oh, how did this happen? Every time you have a discussion with one of your siblings about something, the 5 minutes, parents say the discussion is over, really annoying, hate not complete conversation. Well, I mean, so, I guess there's two sides to that. Because on the one hand, I can imagine because I'd like to, one day, start a family of my own, you know, in a distant future, obviously. But if I do, I could imagine one day, like, if your kids start fighting with each other, I can understand the mindset of just, like, I don't like seeing people fight, I just want everyone to kind of calm down and get along, that kind of thing. But on the other end of the spectrum, it's also equally frustrating on the kid's perspective to be like, well, we were having a conversation about something, we want to finish it. So it's a difficult balance to strike in that context. But in the context of the chat I was having with Brooks on Monday, it's like Joe clearly wanted to stop, which is interesting because he loves to argue with people. Almost as if he wasn't confident in his ability to defend Toy Story 4 or something like crazy like that. But, you know, why would I ever make a claim like that? Almost as if he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But, yeah, so I probably still would have pushed to continue the conversation even if I wasn't streaming. It's just that the fact that I was streaming and people were actively saying in chat, like, no, debate Toy Story 4 right now, gave me the extra push I needed to, like, convince them, hey, let's talk about this. 3 Chaos Gems, Josh Kodaka, and Free Guy Writer. Implying that's unfair, because Chaos Emeralds are actually helpful. Whereas those 3 are decidedly not. Hi everyone, hello, Hugo and Shay29, welcome to the stream. Still an early game, so you haven't missed a whole lot. You missed like the first 20 minutes of the game, roughly. No, probably a little less than that, because I started the stream a little before I actually got into the game. But yeah, Ultra Despair Goals is... You don't think anyone will remember the Free Guy sneak peek after what happened later? Yeah, so I actually got some comments saying, like, I don't even remember the beginning of the stream because it just devolved so quickly. Because that started out... The evolution of that stream is crazy. That started out as a stream where I was just going to talk to you guys about the channel and kind of where I was going forward. Then, after the Xbox stream, it's like, oh, Halo Infinite's out. So, I guess we're playing that, because I didn't want to stop streaming when that came out. I wanted to share my reactions with Halo Infinite live on stream. Then, I got some other friends involved, and we started to kind of chat about a bunch of stuff. And then, from that point onward, it just became a full-on Toy Story 4 conversation. So, Yeah, that stream evolved real quick, so I guess I don't blame anyone for not remembering how the stream started, but it's that changed very quickly, at a very rapid rate. Alright, still missing one. But yeah, point being, you can still go back to that stream anytime you want to go look at the Free Guy sneak peek if you are interested. Is there a piece of media that I love that everyone seems to hate? We always talk about things I hate that people love somehow, so how about the opposite? I guess... So, I do have an answer to this, but I'm gonna preface my answer by saying it has nothing to do with the actual quality of the game itself. So let me make that crystal... I'm gonna say it again in case anyone misheard. To make it crystal clear, what the answer I'm about to give has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the game itself. It's for entirely other reasons that I'm gonna get into shortly after I say it. So, the answer to your question, Savas, would be Minecraft Story Mode, and the only reason why is because when I was in high school, the first thing that I did not mean to walk forward there. The first thing that Forget 45 and I kind of bonded over was that game. So like one day we weren't really, I mean we were friends, but we weren't really that close for our freshman year. And sophomore year happened and we were in the same engineering class. And I made a very offhanded comment, just referencing the game itself. And to my utter bewilderment, she actually recognized the reference I was going for. And from that point forward, we just kind of got into a lengthy conversation about the game in question. So even though Minecraft Story Mode is horrendously written, and if I needed to, like if you asked me to, I could easily make a series breaking down why that game is so horrendously constructed from a writing perspective. It will always hold a special place in my heart, because that's kind of the game that allowed us to kind of form a closer bond, and then, you know, the rest is history. So that would be my answer to that. But if you mean like something that I think is good that the world thinks is bad, in terms of just thinking that something that I hate or something I love that the world hates, I guess the closest you'll come to is, like, I was gonna say this game, but this game isn't hated by the world. It's just no one knows that this game exists. Like, this isn't a game that the world thinks is awful. It's just that no one has heard of this game before. So I guess it doesn't really count. I don't know. I guess I've just never. I've never... It's almost always the reverse, like you said. It's almost always a case where the world... Someone has been tricked by either lighting or music or something, or some kind of other nostalgia pandering garbage, or they just weren't thinking that something was really good when it really wasn't. I cannot think of an example off the top of my head where I came to the conclusion that this is of quality, and the world is wrong in saying that it's not of quality. I'll keep thinking about it throughout the stream, but nothing immediately jumps to mind on that note. How to get a discussion of Game Magic 13, mention Toy Story 4 and good in one sentence. Unless it's Toy Story 4 is not good, yes. Basically. Well, I mean, even then that might get a discussion out of me, because that might just launch me into a tirade of all the things that are not good about it. So to figure out what is my favorite video, you mean, like, on the YouTube platform as a whole? Yeah, I guess I just never really... like I said before, I just don't really rank YouTube videos that way. I don't really have a #1 favorite, or, well, okay, least favorite's one thing. I don't really have a favorite YouTube video. It's easier for me to list channels that I watch frequently, and I did that in a previous stream. And we're good on treasures. I'm trying. I guess I can browse to my subscriptions briefly, because the answer would probably end up being either. It probably wouldn't be a let's. Well, maybe I don't know. The answer would either be a random episode of a Let's Play that just I was particularly entertained by, or it would be a video breaking down a movie or a game that I was really interested in. Maybe annual channel specials or something. Well, I mean, so, if you're asking of the videos that I've made on my channel, then my favorite video I've ever made is easily my Dragons of 3D. Well, yeah, it's probably gonna be that. I was hesitating. It's either my Dragons of 3D analysis video, or it's the finale of my Greatest Eternity 2 Let's Play, in tandem with the endgame credit style montage I put together in celebration of 20 years of Ace Attorney, because that was like the end of my Ace Attorney adventures, so it kind of meant a lot for me.
Such a heavy beam.
That that was the end, and seeing it, like, reading everyone's comments on that video, and seeing how my LPs have entertained people, how the game series itself has meant a lot to a lot of people. That was really heartwarming to read in the comments. So it would either be that. Also, I'm particularly proud of how the end game style, like, curtain call video I put together turned out. Even though it's like nothing original about it, it's just another credits in the style of endgame video. But you know, I am still proud of the effects I managed to replicate from the endgame itself. So I'm still proud of how that turned out. We talked about TS4 waiting for download. Yeah, that's that. I mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. Right when the stream started, I was talking about how while Infinite was downloading, we were talking about, like, we were going through comments on the alternate ending for Toy Story 4 video, and that kind of ended up coming full circle by the end when we ended up in a full-on Toy Story 4 debate. Which, while it may have killed my brain in the moment, I'm glad it was able to provide you all with some entertainment. Yeah, of the videos I've made, my favorite would either be my Dragon's Den 3D video, or it would be the finale to Greatest Attorney 2. Unsure. It would be one of those two, probably. But in terms of my proudest work on the channel, and the thing that, because the proudest work on the channel is probably my Toy Story 4 series, honestly, because that's like my life. The earliest years of my life were defined by Toy Story, so that was just basically me pouring my heart out after watching those characters that I loved get torn to shreds. There's a lot of stuff I'm proud of about this channel. But in terms of other videos, I'm trying to really think. I really think it would probably just be some random episode of some random Let's Play. Like episode 30 of something or other, I don't know. Okay, so that needs to get the hell out of here. Let's go ahead and goodbye. Nice. Can I remove? I should probably get mods here, honestly, so that stuff like that doesn't pop up again. That's what we call a bot. That is what we call a bot, trick or trick. That is something that needs to never... I'm honestly considering... I've been considering this for a while. I'm considering getting... promoting some people to be a moderator in the chat. I haven't given it much thought. I mean, I have given thought to it, but I haven't really thought much more about who it would be or whatever, but, you know, just for whenever those bots pop up, just so I don't have to, like, stop the game dead in its tracks to deal with them. Websites are harassing us. I know, it's the worst thing. Definitely mods this channel. Yeah, I'm probably gonna promote some people. I don't know who or when, but I definitely need to get mods in here to start kind of dealing with those bots whenever they pop up. I don't think that we would never really need to be, I don't think I'd ever need to have mods for the sake of, like, telling people to calm down or anything like that, because you guys are pretty chill. I don't think we'd ever have to deal with that. Just to kind of shoot down any bots, like what just happened there, that pop up, so I don't have to stop the game dead in its tracks to handle them, you know what I mean? Any thoughts on the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home movie? I would care. I really wish that Loki didn't ruin everything, because I really want to be excited for it, because I really did care about Tom Holland's Spider-Man and his storyline and his arc throughout the movies. But I don't care anymore, because Loki rendered everything that ever happened to the MCU meaningless, so why would I give a shit? I would honestly love to be excited for No Way Home, but I just can't be. So remember the Ace Attorney memory lane? It was so well made. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. That was honestly kind of a last minute addition. I originally wasn't... Well, I wanted to do it, I just wasn't sure I was going to be able to get it out in time. And I was. I actually got it finished in time and said rendered in time. And then, my computer restarted and rendered that meaningless. So, that was fun. But, you know, I got it out by the end of the day, so it worked out in the end. To some extent. What's the Let's Play I'm most proud of? The Let's Play I'm most proud of? Huh. That is a good question that I do not have the answer to. I will give you an answer momentarily. I need to think some more. I'm gonna answer a question I can answer a bit more quickly. Someone asked, but the message was retracted, if they can if you can give it, like, say something that bother you about the Toy Story 4 series, you're more than welcome to. I fully welcome constructive criticism of my. I think I have a guess as to what it'll be, but you are more than welcome to offer your criticism of my series, because like I said it, I tweeted this out before. I welcome constructive criticism because constructive, well thought out, intelligent, mature criticism will only improve my content in the future. But just screaming randomly, Toy Story 4 is good, because you gotta be a true fan to understand. That doesn't help me at all, but, so that's why I was annoyed when I posted that. But constructive criticism, I welcome that all day. So if you are more than welcome to say what annoyed you about the series, and I will not, I promise I won't scream and yell at you. I promise I will not get mad. That is my promise to you. I will literally only ask for your issue. That's my guess as to what it's gonna be, but I'm not sure if that's what the other person wanted to mention. Constructive criticism is better than broking it. That's gonna be a meme from now on. It's gonna be amazing. Loki's just a worse version of Doctor Who. I've never seen Doctor Who, so I can't really comment on that. But I will take your. Well, I mean, I guess by definition it kind of has to be. Like how you yeeted the rat from the platform. Yeah, that was the game plan. What is my biggest regret in this channel? Something that I didn't play that I regret. That is a good question. My biggest regrets. Well, I mean, I guess the meme answer is I regret Danganronpa because that's just a tidal wave of pain. That's just a rabbit hole that I should never have gone down. Because it just led to, well, I mean, it led to good things like bringing the Danganronpa 3 series to all of you, but in terms of my own mental sanity, it was a rabbit hole I should never have jumped down. But, you know, playing V3, that probably shouldn't have done that either. But I guess I'm trying to think of stuff that like I never finished, that I kind of wish I didn't. Like, I guess maybe Sunshine is something I wish I never did, just because it's, well, unless it gets to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, it's something that I'll never finish on the channel, so I hate leaving series unfinished, so that's probably one of my biggest regrets. Another one would probably, maybe waiting so long to play Investigations 2. Well, I mean, because on the one hand, it's like I waited so long to play something that's so amazing, but on the other hand, I think because I waited so long to do it, it kind of built anticipation for it, so when I dropped the surprise reveal that I was actually doing it, it was kind of like, oh, he's finally doing it, so I guess I kind of built up a little hype there. No, I got one. I got a good answer now. Hat in Time. I regret doing Hat in Time. I really regret that a lot, because Hat in Time is a game I thought was going to be amazing, and it just wasn't. I also regret Deltarune, because that's, like, I probably should never have, I honestly should never have I should never have played it, because I love Undertale. I gave Deltarune Chapter 1 a shot, and I was not intrigued by it to even a minor degree, but I played Deltarune Chapter 2 because literally everyone was asking me to play it, so I figured I'd give it a fair shot, but I just didn't care at all, and I ended up finding something to enjoy in it eventually, but people still weren't thrilled with that series, and I understand why, so I guess that would be another one. Just basically things that I felt were lackluster, or things that I never got to finish would kind of fit that category. I guess I also regret the Halo War stream I did last month, because that was the worst stream I've ever done in terms of I try to split my focus between commentating and proper gameplay. So, and it didn't work out that well. So I guess that would kind of fit that category as well. I definitely don't regret the Toy Story 4 debate, though. That is not a thing I regret.
In these towers, sound is
never regret that. Yeah, I guess those would probably be the answers. Vaguely. The more I play the Hat in Time, the less I like it. Yeah, I thought it would be good, because I heard so much good about it. But that's kind of my stance with you. Like, I started out in the first level I really liked, but then the further into the game I got, the more I started to not enjoy it. But people were really passionately defending that game in the comments, so it was just kind of painful to get through. It was also around the time that I got vaccinated for COVID-19, which already, the side effects for that kind of knocked me out of commission for a few days. It was more like one day, but so dealing with the comments of Hat in Time while also recovering from the side effects Wasn't a great state for me to be in, gotta be honest. But, you know, it's fine. This is like the arcade game, but you can actually control the character. Yeah, it's the premise of the arcade game where it's Dirk the Daring trying to slay Singe the Dragon and rescue the princess. But this time it's a fully 3D action-adventure game instead of just quick-time events, essentially. Which is why I like it so much. It's a full-fledged adventure where you're in complete control instead of just push left when the game tells you to push left kind of thing. Haven't played Hat in Time. I heard it's good. Maybe try it myself. Proceed with caution if you do that, because it's I think it's a very overrated platform. I gotta be honest. I was not particularly impressed with what I played. It's important to play Danganronpa after you play Ace Attorney, so you can learn to love Ace Attorney again. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess kind of, but I already had that effect when I played Apollo Justice. When I played Apollo Justice, I'm like, oh, wow, I did not give the original trilogy the credit it deserved. Which, like you said, the same thing happened in Toy Story 4. I watched Toy Story 4. I didn't realize how awesome the first... Like, I always knew I loved them, but I didn't know why. I didn't know how much until I saw Toy Story 4, and I'm like, oh, wow, pain. This is pain incarnate. I think if I took the normal passes route in Delta Chapter 2, I would not like any of it. Probably not, honestly. I think the only way I could have gotten any enjoyment out of it is if I did the Snowgrave route, because I just don't care about the characters. I honestly just don't. And you can hate me for that all you want, and you're more than welcome to. But I have no connection to Deltarune at all. It's not a game for me. I love Undertale, but I really don't like the character. Well, maybe not. I just don't have any connection to any of those characters. So I think if I did the passes route, you're right, I probably wouldn't have liked it. Which is why, you know, I got people recommending me to do it, but I just, you know, I've never, I just don't think I would. I don't think people would enjoy it. I don't think I would enjoy it. I don't think it would be a good experience for anyone all around. But I understand why people want to see it. I just don't think it would benefit. I don't think it'd be the great thing you think it's going to be. Let's see, what else did I miss? You know that meme from Toy Story 1? There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. It's the ending of the infant stream in a nutshell. Oh, yeah, I mean, basically. So I actually, immediately after that stream ended, I tweeted out just literally that meme, followed by my caption of "my head hurts." So yeah, I actually used that exact meme on Twitter to summarize the end of the Infinite stream. What's my favorite BGM tracks from every Ace Attorney game? From the first game, So to make this, sorry, I just bit myself. To make this easier myself, I'm going to discount the ones that are shared across every game. So like, for instance, the Turnabout Sisters theme, I'm not going to count that one because it would win by default. And because that's in, well, I guess it's remixed, but because that general theme is shared across every game, I'm going to discount stuff like that. I think if I have to pick one that's like unique to just the first Ace Attorney game alone, it's probably going to be maybe the DL6 theme. It might, honestly, probably the DL6 thing. Either, yeah, I think I'll just go with that as a safe bet. Justice for All, it would probably be... That's a good question, actually. I haven't really given much thought to that. Because my gut answer was to say Pearl's theme, but again, that's used in multiple ones. It might be the Berry Big Circus theme, honestly. Because the Berry Big Circus, as much as I hate that case, it's got some good music. Got some damn good music, actually. I mean, so, to make it easy, Trials of Relations is easy, because that's just Godot's theme. Game over. You win. Godot's theme is best theme. It's just the fragrance of dark coffee is just, so good. So that one's easy. Justice for All is harder. That one's actually pretty hard to think. Okay, what's happening with the camera here? That didn't work out too well for me. DL6 comes back in other games. Oh, right. I guess, I think they do they play it in Justice for All? Okay, fine. I guess we'll just count that one. I guess the SL9 incident, then. I'll go with the SL9 incident instead. Investigations 2 is raced. Yeah, obviously. Well, I mean, that's close. Because Investigations 2's pursuit theme is phenomenal. And its cross-examination theme. Like, the Moderado one, at least, is great. But honestly, racing would probably win out overall. I think for Justice for All, I would probably go with, it's a cop-out. I think I'd go with the investigation theme. Perhaps. Fragrance of Dark Coffee or Joking Motive? Now you're asking me to pick between my children. Why are you doing this to me? I think I gotta go with Fragrance of Dark Coffee. That saxophone is just, just masterful. Pointing out that the OST was fitting for Chad. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's true. The joking motive with like who was the absolute Chad supporting the music. Amy's theme is neat too. Yeah, but I mean Godot's theme though. What do I think of the new Halo? What do I think of the new Halo animation show? It's not an animation show. It's a live action show, and it's gonna suck. It has no chance in hell of ever being good. Hall of Justice. You don't want. I can't answer that one. Dual Destinies. I like the courtroom theme, like the courtroom begins theme for that. I really like. Spirit of Justice. Spirit of Justice is... I'm trying to avoid all the Pursuit music, because that might be just like an easy win, because the Pursuit music is so epic. Spirit of Justice... I don't know, the current music's pretty good. I might just... Spirit of Justice... I have to listen to the OST for Spirit of Justice again, because I think I need to hear some of those tracks again to give a more definitive answer. For Greatest Attorney... Chronicles, I think I'd go with the cross-examination theme. I really like the cross-examination theme. Again, of course excluding... Well, I mean, so... But then there's Susato's theme, and it's... Actually, no. I'm gonna go with Ryutaro's objection music to shield anyone in this chat who, for some reason, doesn't know what happens in Greatest Attorney 2. Ryutaro's objection theme is gonna win that one out. Tell the Truth and Spirit of Justice was also... I need to listen to that one again. Athena's theme is... Athena's theme, say that 5 times fast, is awesome. Would you want to know Spamton's character a bit better, or do you don't care for... I don't really care enough to know more about his character, honestly. I'm not super... I don't have enough investment in it to really give much thought on that. You don't get why people didn't like my Deltarune Chapter 2 LP? It was so unique compared to every other playthrough on YouTube. Yeah, but... So that's the thing. I think that's why people didn't like it, is because people expected me to just love it unanimously and... like, get invested in the characters. They wanted to see the pacifist route. They wanted to see me go through the main story and do all that. I didn't do any of that. It's because my playthrough was so radically different, I think, that people were just not in, like, it wasn't what they came to see. They came to see a pacifist run. I think they expected something like my Undertale playthrough, where I was really into the story, and I cared about the characters, but that's just not what my Deltarune playthrough was, and I think that's why it turned so many people off from it. Which is why I'm very much... not interested in playing Chapter 3. I might change my mind in 5 years when it comes out again, but, you know, my experience with Chapter 2 has left a very poor taste in my mouth for this game, so I make no guarantees. Say my favorite plot twist in a game without giving it away. Stay tuned for an hour and you'll see for yourself. Game is afoot as a bang. Oh my god, yes, the game is afoot, and also, the Airlock Sholmes' deduction music. Honestly, when I was making my Toy Story 4 series, the music tracks that I had on in the background while I was working the most came from the Greatest Attorney soundtrack, and the ones I played more often than anything else were the cross-examination theme, Susato's theme, Ryutaro's objection theme, the Great Deduction music, and then the Great Pursuit in the end. And so that stuff, just Greatest Attorney Chronicles in general is just such a magical, orchestral awesomeness of a soundtrack. So, and Spirit of Justice, the music that plays during the discovery of Dirk's fate is my favorite. Yes, that's the thing. I need to, like, the Greatest Attorney music just stuck out to me so well. Like, it was so epic that I remember those themes so well. But I don't have that great recollection of a lot of the themes from Dual Destiny and Spirit of Justice, so I need to play those games again to get or I guess just listen to the soundtrack again to get a better grasp on those soundtracks. Oh, I should probably use this because I have it. Let's try this on for size. See you later, pals. You didn't get Hat in time, but it wasn't worth it. It really, well, I mean, I guess it depends on person to person, but I didn't find it worth it at all. I guess maybe I had my expectations too high, but I just kept getting more and more frustrated the further into the game I got, like someone else said earlier. What I want to know, alright, answer that question. Not sure what to expect of No Way Home, because Sony has a terrible track record of concluding storylines. Spider-Man 3 and Amazing and Spider-Man 2 were terrible. So I guess if we pretend Loki doesn't exist for a second, even if you just think about the premise of, like, all the Spider-Men come together, or sorry, I don't even, what is the plot again? Is it, have Andrew and Tobey been confirmed yet, or is that still rumor? I don't know. Well, whatever the case may be, just the idea of, of, like, all the Sinister Six or whatever they're called, coming back from alternate universes. I think the movie might have a problem of too much, I guess, where it's trying to go too big, and it's gonna be so insane and off the walls crazy because it's gonna be tackling so much stuff that it might not be able to handle the insane amount of characters and stuff that's throwing our way. And again, I don't really have any investment in the MCU anymore. I want to, but I just don't because of Loki. So you guys can let me know how it is when it comes out, because when my family and I get back together for the holiday season next month, unless they say, hey, let's go see Spider-Man, then I go, I probably won't see it, but, you know, we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. And to think the Greatest Attorney was just a duology and was able to almost reach main trilogy level. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, in just 2 games, I failed this colossally. Well, okay, maybe I think this is an automatic fail. I'm gonna try to make up for it. I didn't hit the other bell first, but I'll see what happens. Yeah, I probably should just fail anyway. They haven't been confirmed, but considering all past films returning, multiverse stage pretty much guaranteed. You think it'd be weird if they didn't, right? Because, like, they said they have visitors from all the universes. It'd be weird to have it that the villains come back, but not the heroes themselves. And again, I don't know if the set photos. I know there's been some set photos allegedly showing Andrew and Toby. I don't know if those are doctored. I don't know if they're legit or not. It could be either, honestly. But either way, whether it's legit or not, I'm not particularly interested. But I wouldn't put it past Marvel to kind of save that as their cap-lifting Mjolnir moment, where they want to see the audiences have that reaction where it's like, oh my god, they're in it. You want to have that moment where the audiences get euphoric and just lose their minds over seeing Andrew and Toby again. That might be what they're going for, which is why they haven't shown up in any trailers yet. Because there have been, and again, I'm not a Photoshop expert, so I don't know what to look for when trying to determine if a photo is doctored or not. But there's a lot of set photos I've seen, and they look decently convincing, so only time will tell on that note. So the green chat, talking and playing games at the same time is impressive. Thank you for that. It's also worth noting, though, that I kind of know this game like the back of my hand. Well, actually, let me shut up for a second, so that in case I die here, I don't want to eat my words in a second. Okay, we're good. I kind of know this game like the back of my hand, so it's a game that I can very easily just kind of play autopilot while talking to chat, which is why I wanted to play it today. But games like that's kind of why the RTS stream didn't go too well a couple weeks ago, because it requires so much intense concentration to kind of divide and conquer with all the different strategies you have to keep in mind. It didn't work well for streaming format. But this game, I still have to think as I play to make sure I'm doing everything right, but it's not very intensive in terms of like strategic thinking, so I can play while talking at the same time. And the MCU film I like but others don't, Iron Man 3. Because I guess I could probably be talked out of it if I hear the arguments, but I really like the conclusion that he gets for kind of Tony's arc throughout those 3 movies. And I totally get why people don't like it, because it kind of butchers the Mandarin, which, you know, same thing happened with Taskmaster, but I can get why people aren't a fan of it. But I'm a fan of the work that's done for Tony's character. I like what happens with the kid in the town. I like how it kind of shows a more espionage-style, grounded storyline for Tony, as opposed to just being the Iron Man suit, and then that pays off in the end with all the Iron Man suits. I'm a fan of that. If I hear the arguments, I could probably be talked out of thinking it's good, but, you know, from the times I've seen it, I enjoy it. And I definitely get a little emotional at the end when he has that final speech and he picks up the arc reactor core, he throws it in the ocean, that kind of thing. Fan of that. But, you know, other than that, can I climb this ladder, please? Thank you. I guess it's not really anything that jumps to mind. Well, actually, there's a lot of people that don't like Homecoming and Far From Home for some reason, but I think that Homecoming is one of the best films in the MCU. Far From Home has some problems, but Homecoming is a very, very strong movie. So I guess that one would also technically count. But Homecoming is the thing that's just like more nichely thought of as bad, whereas Iron Man 3 is like, that's the go-to, wow, such crap movie kind of thing. So I guess that's probably where I would place it. Can I hit this bell, please? Oh, it's probably still resetting. There we go. I thought that we have found the reverse situation. We love something completely and others don't. I wouldn't say I love Iron Man 3. I wouldn't go that far. But the thing there is that, like, when you said that earlier, I was thinking more of something that's reviled. Like, for instance, a game like, actually, we can just go with something that came out last week. Home Sweet Home Alone came out, that's what I think of when I think of a movie that's like, or something that's reviled, like actually hated, because the world hates Home Sweet Home Alone, and rightfully so, because it's a terrible movie. And I could talk about it if you want to, but I'd rather not. So that's what I was thinking when I'm thinking of like something that others hate that I would enjoy. It's like something that reaches that level of critical failure. Whereas Iron Man 3 still performed well, and it still has overall positive ratings on like IMDb and stuff like that. That's not really what jumped to my head when I think of stuff that is hated. You know what I mean? Age of Ultron kind of makes the ending of 3 pointless. There's so I can see where you would think that, but that kind of is rectified by Infinity War, because the way his character arc comes forward is the idea of he wants to stop, but the world won't let him because they keep finding new threats that he needs to step up and face. And so that's in Age of Ultron. He tries to create the Ultron Protocol so he can stop being the Iron Man. He can kind of regress or draw back a little bit and let his the Iron Legion take the helm instead. But he can't, and then that comes full head in Infinity War. And actually, I think he even says to Cap at the farm scene, "Isn't that why we fight so we can go home?" That kind of thing. So it doesn't. I can see why you think that, but it doesn't. I don't think it quite undoes it in the same way that you might think. At the same time, you're excited to see the characters from the same Raimi trilogy again. I can understand why you'd be excited to see that. I just don't think that it. I think it might. Like I said, I think it might be too big for its own good. They might be trying to go too big and just kind of blow their load too hard and tackle too much at once. Mandarin was fixing Shang-Chi anyway. Haven't seen Shang-Chi, but my mom wants to see it. So we might watch that on Disney Plus when I meet up again, when my family gets back together for the holidays. Not that I will care, because like I said, free will is gone on MCU now. But I'll give it a shot. I've heard it's great, but I also heard that that Loki was great. In fact, people think that Loki's the best of the Disney Plus shows, which makes me want to die. The plot is Doctor Strange tries to erase the memories of events from Far From Home. Yeah, I know the general plot of that. The version of Dragons was interesting. Yeah, it does. It's a very different take on the game, because like I think a lot of people assumed, like I said in my video, I think a lot of people assumed that it was just going to be a shameless cash grab of like, oh look, it's Dragon's Lair, but instead now you get to play it on your home console. Isn't that neat? Don't you want to give us more money? But it's so different. Like it's completely different from the arcade version. It's an entirely different game, because like it has the same location, or it has some of the same locations and the same plot, obviously, and same characters, but the gameplay and the story and the general exploration of all is so radically different. It'd be completely different games. So that's why I like it so much, because like, you know, I can go back to the original Dragon's Lair for like nostalgia reasons and just kind of think of the times I used to spend playing it as a kid. But this is a game that I can still play years and years down the line and still enjoy its gameplay as a game and not just as a nostalgia trip kind of thing. Part of the plot is a direct reference to the story arc I absolutely loathe in the comics One More Day, in which Marvel 320's greatest character element. Oh, you just reminded me of something. Oh boy. So, there's someone I know who is a avid MCU fanboy. And they were talking about how they really hope that Marvel doesn't adapt the One More Day comic book because it was terrible. And then the No Way Home trailer came out, and then it became crystal clear that's what they were doing. And then they had to retroactively be like, oh, well, actually, you know, it's not that bad. I'm sure they'll do it okay. Because there's some people whose mindsets are they're so set in the way of, like, I am the MCU fanboy. I shall defend everything that ever comes out of Marvel, no matter what. And it's just so, like, you just sigh. It's just like, oh, you poor unfortunate soul. You are so sucked into this mindset of you must consume everything this company everything this company pumps out, no matter what. It's just kind of depressing to see. But you know, because like, it's no secret I'm a massive Halo fan, but I'm also not going to blindly defend everything they do. For instance, I don't think the new Halo show has any chance in hell of being good. And I think that the way the Battle Pass is currently implemented into Halo Infinite needs serious work, because you earn XP at such an inefficient rate that it kind of decentivizes players who are into it for the progression. They really need to fix that in future updates. So, I'm a massive Halo fan, and I love the series with all my heart, but I'm also going to criticize things that deserve to be criticized. So I guess I just can't empathize with the mindset of wanting to blindly defend everything.
These crypts.
I can empathize with the mindset of wanting to love everything. Like, obviously you'd want to love the things that you are passionate about, but I also have the mindset, like, have the integrity to be like, okay, if this thing ends up being bad, I will criticize it appropriately. But, you know, some people sadly don't seem to have that mindset. Also, I love this background music track. Very haunting and orchestral. In my V3 videos, I mentioned I wanted to know characters better. What did you actually expect to learn from their backstories? I think I need more context to that, because what it sounds like you're asking me is just, did I have anything specific in mind for what I wanted to learn? Because, no, I didn't really, like, I wanted to learn so this was before I kind of lost faith in V3. Like, by the end of Chapter 1, I just lost faith in the game entirely, and that lost faith was appropriately was appropriately placed. But when I said that, like, I just kind of wanted to, in a general sense, learn about their backstories so I can empathize with them more, like, learn about who they were as people. Yeah, I know you're talking about free time events, but I mean, like, are you wondering about specifics, if I had anything specifics? Because I didn't have any specifics in mind at all. I just said that because I wanted to learn who they were better, like, learn them. Like, when you say you want to get to know someone, you want to get to know who they are as people and kind of learn more about them so that you can grow closer to them as people. I didn't have anything specific in mind for their backstories I wanted to learn. I just wanted to see what they had to offer.
And I suppose that's...
You hope they don't Toy Story 4 the Raimi characters? Well, so the MCU broke its world, but it hasn't really done much character assassination. So I think you're safe on that note. I think you're safe there. I don't... With how much people love the Sam Raimi movies, I don't think they'd have the guts to do what... Well, I say that, but then I remember that Woody's one of the most beloved characters in the world, and Josh Cooley nuked him, so... And Buzz and Jesse, so I guess I get... Just pretend I didn't say that. AK Confident Hangouts. Yeah, gentle reminder that there's nothing you can get in Danganronpa that you can't get elsewhere. Absolutely nothing. If you want a death game where people try to escape a facility, play Zero Escape. If you want courtroom-style action, play Ace Attorney. If you want the ability to spend time with friends in a casual environment and get to know them better, play Persona 5. Did I forget anything, or is that all? Is that everything Danganronpa offers? Loki character testing Loki? Oh, well, so I don't... honestly, I just have... my recollection of Loki is just the TVA controlling everything, and then free will being destroyed. I was so furious with what they did to the world of the MCU with that show, I didn't even pay any attention to Loki himself. But it's also worth noting that I think, at the very, like, that's not the Loki we know, as in, that is the variant Loki that was sent to the TVA. So at least the Loki from the other movies was intact by the end. Like, his arc from Thor 1 to Infinity War is still intact, so that's something to say. So I think there's that, at least. Any interest in the Mother series? I don't know anything about the Mother series. And I will give a more detailed answer after I fail this chase sequence. I think I'm already failed, actually. Yeah, I think this is a fail. This is a fail. I think I'm gonna drown here in a second. Yeah, okay. I don't know anything about the Mother series, but I have heard that Earthbound is very good, so I might try it one day. How would I fix what Loki broke? Simple. Don't make the TVA controllers of free will. Like, well, first of all, Loki should never exist at all. The show needs to never, conceptually, the idea of a time-varying authority or agency or whatever the hell it's called that has control, or I guess it's Kang in the end, whatever. The idea of just anything in general having control over the entire universe, and because the way they've set it up is a thing where, because I keep saying Loki destroys free will. Let me explain how it destroys free will for those who don't know. The story of Loki is that the Kang has it all planned out in his head. Kang scripted the entire MCU, which, by the way, for anyone who wants to try to defend the show, the director of the show and the lead writer has already confirmed in an interview that Kang did in fact script the entirety of the MCU, and none of the characters ever made any choices of their own will, because Kang scripted it all to happen, and he controls everything that happened throughout the entirety of the MCU, and if ever anyone makes a choice that does not follow the script, he erases that timeline and deletes it from the universe, so there is literally only one timeline that could ever exist, meaning that none of the characters ever made a choice ever, because there was only ever one possibility for them to ever make, which is straight up bullshit, and I hate it. When do you plan to watch WALL-E and Ratatouille? Probably sometime in the next few weeks. Don't have a specific date in mind, but probably then. People always defend Woody's decision in 4, but they've never seen anyone defend Buzz. Oh, buddy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I pity you. Oh my good lord. Be glad that you've never had to witness the defenses for Buzz's character, because I have. The whole reason I put in that section, the reason that I went on such a long tangent in my Toy Story in the part 3 of the Toy Story 4 series about how Buzz was always a really smart character, is because I have had a conversation with someone who genuinely believes that Buzz was a really stupid character. They said to me verbatim that Buzz was never a smart character, Woody was always a smart one, and that line made me want to jump off a cliff, which is why I spent so much time. He'll never see, like, the person I was talking to will never ever see that video, but I just want it in there because I know now from that conversation that people genuinely think that's a legitimate counter argument, so I had to put it in there to cover my ass in case anyone tried to comment. Well, Buzz was never smart, lol. He was always an idiot. So I had to make sure people made that because, well, I mean, I guess even I don't even need to reference that random guy I was talking to, because I can just reference Josh Cooley. Josh Cooley says in the director's commentary, well, Buzz is not always the brightest crayon in the box, and I hate Josh Cooley so much. Like, that line's like, alright, I was already gonna rant about Buzz being smart, now I'm gonna double down and make sure I make it crystal clear that there is no room for doubt, I need to drink a health potion, that Buzz is an insanely smart character. Have they not watched Toy Story 2? I don't think, that's the thing, I would never get on my high horse to say that people who defend Toy Story 4 aren't true fans, I would never say that, but I genuinely think that if you actually showed them the first 3 movies, they wouldn't stand by their criticisms or their defenses. Because I think it might, for some of them are just delusional, but some of them, I genuinely think that if you actually showed them the first 3 movies, they would be like, okay, maybe I was wrong about this one. Buzz actually is kind of really smart. Jessie did kind of overcome her fears. I do genuinely think that for some of them, if you show them those movies, they would come around. But, and like, it might just be a case of them not having seen them in a while and they just kind of don't remember it. Because Toy Story 4 is very good at gaslighting you. Like, that's kind of the point of my series, or at least some of it, was making sure I made crystal clear these people are trying to gaslight you into thinking that this was always the case when it just wasn't. So don't fall for their trickery. You think that one of the critiques that hit you most in my Toy Story 4 video was what you said about Woody's bad because I actually broke my Woody toy trying to remove it. Yeah, that's because it's technically such a small thing, and like if you remove it from the movie and like you have it just so that Bonnie never takes the badge and Woody never gives it to Jessie, it doesn't fix the movie. But it's just like that one small thing I noticed is like, that's not how that works. So I wanted to put it in there because I had that, like, I never actually tried to rip it off. Well, I think I may have tried to, but I quickly realized, oh, this is really carefully sewn on. This is never coming off unless I rip the vest off of his chest. So, yeah, that kind of annoyed me. I mean, it didn't piss me off because I wasn't, like, infuriated. It was just like, that's not how that works. You guys know that, like, if you actually try that, you're gonna break the Woody doll. Don't get hit by that. But, yeah, that's kind of why I put that in there. I'm gonna look at chat a second. I gotta follow these ghosts before I look back at chat. Okay, I think he should be in here. Yeah, he's in there, okay. What are my thoughts on the Lightyear movie? It looks garbage. Despite what Joe says, it looks like absolute... I generally don't understand how people come to the conclusions. Like, we did watch the same trailer, right? Like, when Joe said it looks amazing, as in, like, it visually looks stunning... Okay, yeah, like, maybe the space visuals look cool, but did you actually look at Buzz's costume, or did you just watch the trailer once, and you're like, oh, that kind of looks like Buzz's costume, and I saw some pretty lights and pretty shiny colors, so I guess it must look good, because I paused the video, and I actually looked at that screenshot of his costume. It looks awful. It looks like a knockoff version of Buzz Lightyear. I don't understand. Disney Plus has VIP access for some new releases. Oh, I don't even get me started on Premiere Access. It's such garbage. Like, because it's clearly not... It's clearly not something that people are forced to do. Because Pixar released Soul for free, and Onward for free, on Disney Plus. It's just Disney that's doing it with the Marvel films and their own films like Raya and the Last Dragon. It's so stupid.
Use it wisely.
Like, it didn't go... No one likes it. It didn't go over well with Mulan. It didn't go over well with Raya and the Last Dragon. It didn't go over well with Black Widow. It really did not go over well for Black Widow, in case we forgot that one. But, so yeah, I wonder if they're... I don't think they're gonna try that shit again. After what happened with Black Widow, something tells me they're not gonna try that shit ever again. And if they do, oh boy howdy, I will be interested to see how that goes, because, did not end so well for Disney the last time they tried to pull that shit.
A drawbridge. But how do
Most offenders have not seen the movie more than once. Well, I think it's... I think it's both. I think it's they haven't seen Toy Story 4 more than once, and they remember a different movie. And the other thing is that if like they don't remember the first 3 movies. I really believe that it's just a thing where like they watched the first 2 when they were kids, maybe they watched the 3rd one when they were a little bit old, like a little bit of an older kid. That's kind of with me. I was like a toddler when I watched the first 2, and I watched Toy Story 3 when I was a little bit older, and then Toy Story 4 was the first one I watched like it's a proper adult. So that's kind of my... But I still rewatch the movies a lot, so I know at this point I know those 3 movies like the back of my goddamn hand.
and up is down?
But I genuinely believe that that people who defend the movie have only seen Toy Story 4 once, and they don't understand what they watch, and they got tricked by the lighting and the gaslighting garbage, and they don't remember the original trilogy at all because they watched it when they were a kid. Ooh, Buzz is stupid, Jesse's so anxious, Woody is poo-poo head and loyal, Bonnie's a stupid forgetful child, hater, but Bo Peep is the queen, she's so great, that's how they sound. Yeah, because, well, honestly, I think... I don't even think people register what happened with Jessie because it happened so quickly. I honestly don't even think that they realize what happened with her. I think they don't even see the scene. Because honestly, I've never actually debated someone on the idea of Jessie's character being assassinated. I've never seen anyone actually defend that point because I don't think people notice it's in the film. It happens so quickly. I don't even think people notice it's there. Which is frustrating because like everyone knows about Buzz. Oh right, this is blocked. I can't go there yet. I need the eye for that. Everyone knows about Buzz, everyone knows about Woody, but no one seems to mention Jessie's character, which is why I wanted to make sure I brought attention to that in the first part of that series. And I think I'm clear here for now. I can come back here later if I miss anything. I'm just gonna go here for now. The entire MCU is just Kang playing with his action figures, basically. If Toy Story 4 was made by Lee Unkrich, it would have been 1,000 times better. I don't think he ever would have agreed, because something I didn't mention in my series is that Lee Unkrich left Pixar at the exact same time that John Lasseter left Pixar, which is also the exact same time that Josh Cooley was promoted to the head, to the lead writer and director on Toy Story 4. So, seems like interesting timing for Lee Unkrich to leave Toy Story 4 at the same time that Josh Cooley becomes the leader of Toy Story 4, but... You know, what do I know? Maybe that's just me putting on my little tinfoil hat, but seems like interesting timing. Especially since, like, I'm sorry, when there's a quote from Toy Story 3, the director's commentary, where Lee Unkrich explicitly says, this is the end of the trilogy, and then he said in an interview that this was designed to be the final movie in the trilogy. Like, he didn't want Toy Story 4. No one did. There's no way he wanted Toy Story 4. He clearly did not want that. But... you know, money. You want to ask if Toy Story 4 was directed the right way, what message could it bear after 3 others? Like, how is it going to complete a picture of the Toy Story universe? So... are you asking me, like, how... if I had control of Toy Story 4, what would I do to make it fit in with the Toy Story universe? Because if I were in charge of Toy Story 4, 1, I would never have made it. But... if I'm forced, like, if you force me, like, make this movie or else, then I would not focus on Woody and Buzz, because their story's done. That you don't need to actually continue their story, because it's done, it's over. You can focus on one of the side characters from Bonnie's Room or Andy's Room, give them more developments, like, maybe a special about Slinky or Rex or Ham, something like that. Or alternatively, you could just focus on an entirely different set of toys in some other part of the world. Just doesn't have to be about Woody and Buzz. It can be a totally new Toy Story. And if you want to have your Mandalorian moment where you have Woody walk out of the shadows or whatever, you can have your Woody and Buzz cameo if you want, whatever. But fundamentally, it has to be about someone else because their story's done. I would never in a million years make it about Woody and Buzz. I would never do that. For you, Jesse was a really relatable character. Yeah, no, absolutely. I like Jesse. Like I said, Toy Story 4 just made me realize how much I love Jesse, Buzz, and Woody as characters. They're all so well written, and they're all such incredible characters, and I never really thought about it all that much because I never had anything to push me into thinking about it like Toy Story 4. Because like I have, like I said, if there's one thing that Toy Story 4 did, I have such a newfound appreciation for the "I will go sailing no more" scene. That scene hit me harder than it ever has hit me before. When I rewatched the movies for my Toy Story 4 series, that scene hit me way harder than I thought it was going to, and I've seen the movie like 1,000 times at this point. Same thing with Jesse's scene in Toy Story 2, and just anything to do with Woody throughout the whole trilogy. Jesse's "When Somebody Loved Me" scene is heart-wrenching, and it hit me so much harder than I thought it would when I rewatched them. And then, of course, in Toy Story 3, when Andy says goodbye to Woody, that was like... I was already in tears when I watched Toy Story 3 for the first time as a kid. I was bawling when I rewatched them for the series. It's... I hate Toy Story 4. I guess the story was done in the trilogy. Yeah, it's done. It's already over. It's like, their story's finished. They didn't need to keep going. Because, like, I get why Pixar would want to do it. They would want more money. Like, that's why Toy Story 4 was made, is they wanted more money. So you don't have to... If you want it, you can, like I said, have a different story, different part of the world, and then follow it up. And if you want your Woody and Buzz, Mandalorian, Luke cameo, you can do that if you want. But you can't... Their story's done. Don't try to fix... If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is what you need to do. If you haven't seen any of the Disney specials, you mean like the Toy Story of Terror and Toy Story of the Time Forgot stuff that I mentioned, that the ones that Joe said, are those canon? Lol. You should. They're really good to watch. Toy Story 4 is one of the ultimate, it didn't need to exist, but it does because cash grabs. Now they're doing it again with Lightyear movie. Lightyear I hate it. Because Lightyear's... Like, we didn't even get this far with Toy Story. At least we got farther with Toy Story 4, because at least Toy Story 4's existence wasn't a contradiction. But Lightyear's entire existence as a film is contradictory to what we know about the Buzz Lightyear movie in the Toy Story universe. Great job, Pixar. You didn't even make it... Excuse me, you didn't even make it past the concept of your movie this time. Pixar was in cahoots with Disney, one villain, Josh, other Disney villain. Yeah. Watching her get over was inspiring. Yeah, absolutely. Jesse can get over her viewers in a special, remember correctly. Probably haven't seen this special, don't even know she got over it. That honestly might... You're right, that might have something to do with it. That might have something to do with it. It might just be that they have not seen the special, so they don't know that she overcame her fears. So I can understand, like, if you are that person and you haven't seen the film, or that short, and you're like, what? Jesse never overcame her claustrophobia. Then I can understand, because at that point it's just a fact that you don't have the information you need to construct an argument, and I totally understand that. You know, everyone makes mistakes. If you haven't seen it, you don't have the information. But Josh Cooley has no excuse, because Josh Cooley, as I said, was a voice actor in Toy Story of Terror, and he included characters from Toy Story of Terror in Toy Story 4. He knows exactly what happened in that short film, and he chose to ignore it because he hates these characters. I hate that's kind of why I spent so much time building it up, because like I talked about this previously. I didn't know before I made the series whether it was just him being stupid or him being malicious. But after all the research I did and all the evidence I found, I can say definitively it's him being malicious. It's not him being stupid. He knows what he's doing. He chose not to write a good story because he hates the characters. But yeah, like, there's people that struggle with claustrophobia, or even if you don't struggle with claustrophobia, you could have personal issues affecting your life that may not be literally claustrophobia, but you can relate to Jessie's, like, crippling anxiety and her fear of things like that. So you can still empathize with her, even if your fear isn't exactly like hers. You can watch her overcome that, and it's inspiring to see her overcome her fear and grow past that and become the strong person. Like, she was already a kick-ass cowgirl, but now nothing can stop her because she's overcame the one thing that always was keeping her back. But not anymore. Thanks, Josh Cooley, you narcoleptic gnome. We can hope for Lightyear, but after Toy Story 4, I'm not that optimistic. Yeah, I have no expectations for it at all. At this point, what we're hoping for is just don't break anything else. At this point, we're not even hoping for give me a good movie. I'm hoping for give me something that doesn't break the world. Problem is that you already broke the world because Lightyear's existence as a film is contradictive to what we already know about the Buzz Lightyear movie from previous installments. So, nice try Lightyear, you've already screwed the pooch. You didn't even make it past the concept of your movie and you've already failed. Great. At least Josh Cooley made it further than the concept before he bungled colossally. You hope Pixar isn't going to make unrelated animation that would raise questions even among kids that would be really cowardly for them to destroy an entire universe. Yeah, I don't even, it's just... Because that's the thing. I don't think Pixar as a whole is rotten, because Onward was good, Soul was amazing, but after Toy Story 4, I just have so little investment in what the company does moving forward. Like, I saw Onward and Soul just because, like, I guess I just kind of wanted to keep up with the new Pixar stuff, but after doing my Toy Story 4 series, I'm just done. Like, I'm so drained of what Pixar does nowadays. Because, they just released the Turning Red trailer. I just don't care. I don't have any obligation to see it. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. Who knows?
There must be another way.
It's kind of the same thing with Disney. After Frozen 2, I have not watched any of the new Disney stuff. I haven't watched Raya and the Last Dragon. I might not go see Encanto, I don't know. But I guess I'm just kind of drained after seeing what Pixar's done, what Disney and Pixar have done over the past few years. And Marvel's gone too, because Loki broke that. Star Wars is in the pits. It's all just... Why is everything so shit nowadays? Once again, the special effects in the movie would be impossible to do in the universe 19... Yeah, that's the other thing, is that the movie... I mean, the only way I think they can... But the thing is, like, you can salvage it, because what they might do is, they might... Ow, dear God, get off my face. Oh, dear God, okay, I might die here. This could be me dead. They might... Well, no, they won't. But what they could do is make it a live-action remake of the Buzz Lightyear movie. It would still be crap and awful. And I figured I'd die here. That was a sloppy run. Oh my God. But, they won't do it because they're not that smart. They wouldn't think to make it a live-action remake, because I don't even think that they've made a contradiction. Like, I honestly don't think they've contradicted themselves yet. I think they think that this is all running logically, and that, oh yeah, we've never told a story before. Let's do a story about the Buzz Lightyear movie that made Andy want to get the toy. Because they just forgot that they made an animated movie exactly like that, and they hope that the rest of the world forgot too. But if they were self-aware and they actually were aware of the contradiction, then the way you could fix it is by making it a live-action remake of the movie. It would still be crap and lazy, but at least it would, you know... Toys can't talk in this world's valid argument. Yeah, it's... Like I said, when Joe said yesterday... Oh, it was not yesterday, Monday. Oh, it's a children's film. Like, that was just... That's... I wanted to give up right there and then. It's like, oh, so that's who I'm dealing with. We're dealing with a children's film. Especially because he is also a Marvel fanboy. So, do you know how easy it would be? Do you know how easy it would be for me to say, lol, I'm dealing with a stupid, schlocky superhero movie. Why are you getting so worked up about it, lol? Oh boy, because he hates WandaVision. He hates WandaVision. He really hates WandaVision. Do you understand how easy it would be for me to be like, lol, why do you hate WandaVision? It's just a stupid, schlocky superhero TV show with lasers and stuff. Lol, why do you care? It would be so easy. It'd be so easy for me to do that. But I don't do that because it's a bullshit argument that doesn't hold under any weight whatsoever. One of them doesn't ruin a company, though. Everyone can screw up. Well, yeah, so, like I was just saying, I just got done saying I don't blame Pixar for what they did, because it's not Pixar's fault. It's Josh Cooley. Josh Cooley, I don't blame Pixar, I blame Josh. I blame the individual person named Josh Cooley for what he did to Toy Story 4. It's not Pixar's fault. It's because they just they distribute it. They didn't make it. Like, it's the people in the company, not the company itself. And the people who, because like I said, they made Onward, they made Soul. Onward wasn't like a 10 out of 10, but it was still a good movie. And Soul was a masterpiece. So there's people at Pixar that know what they're doing. It's just that after Toy Story 4, my investment in seeing what else, like, it used to be a thing where you look forward to the new Pixar movie, like, you want to see the new Pixar movie, you want to see what else they make, because Pixar was on top of the world as the best animation studio in the country, if not the world. But now, I'm just so drained of it. Just that kind of thing. Phobias can be paralyzing, even though they're not realistic and justified. Yeah, you can have a phobia for the seemingly silliest of things, and they can still be really impactful and traumatic for you. So that's another reason why, because, like, in theory, it's like, what, Jesse's in a bag? Lol, why would you be scared of that? But that's the thing, it's like, it can be the most seemingly minor of things that can really traumatize a person, and that can be really inspiring for someone to look up to and be like, I have a phobia like that, or I have something like that I have trouble dealing with, and seeing Jesse overcome that was really inspiring to me. But now, I need Dragon Spear for this. Now that Josh Cooley's wrecked that, it's like, oh, well, lol, not anymore. Now she's gone back to, now she's proven that even if you think you overcome your fear, you never will, and you'll always be eternally doomed to suffer the wrath of your phobia, whatever it may be. Because Josh Cooley sucks. But, you know, it's a done deal. They'll never make a Toy Story 5. I think I might actually lose this battle. I might screw this up. I got one more shot to do this. Okay, I did it. That was close. But they'll never make a Toy Story 5. One, because Tom Hanks and Tim Allen can't do this forever, and you can't make a Toy Story movie without them. So, like, I don't think they have the time to make another one in the time they have, if you know what I mean. But it's whatever. So it can't be fixed. So all we can do is just kind of spread the word about how terrible it is, and just cherish the first 2 movies. Cherish them always. Pixar is just yet another company that were great years ago, but over time have had a decrease in quality. Lots of companies have this and have little chance of full redemption. Yeah, that's kind of okay, I need to drink a mana potion to regenerate that. That's a thing all over the industry. So, yeah, that's happened with a lot of companies of just falling from grace where they used to be on top of the world, and now they've succumbed to the money machine, and they just don't have the, well, I say passion, I guess I can't say that, they don't have the reason to, because, again, Disney made incredible movies. Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, they made phenomenal films. And then they realized that, well, wait, we don't need to try anymore, because we can just make the same thing we did, but this time, again, with shinier colors and a better budget, and it'll work. Because it always works. It always works every single time. Aladdin and The Lion King both made over $1 billion, and they have no reason to stop, because if they keep making money making these remakes, they're never gonna stop. And it's frustrating to see. There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, there is something we can do about it. We can stop seeing the live-action remakes and vote with our wallets that we don't want this. But sadly, we don't have the majority to overrule the insane amount of people that really are invested, that really, for some reason, want to see these live-action remakes. You think that, but consider the following: money. What? So,
but I can't see where he is.
Like, Pixar would probably want to at some point, but I don't think they can, because,
but you
like,
need a gold key to enter.
Even if for the most superficial of reasons, you can't have Woody or Buzz without Tom Hanks or Tim Allen. Like, I think Patrick Warburton voiced Buzz in the cartoon show, and I just don't, like, I really truly believe that no one other than Tim Allen, like, you can think, obviously, if you think of Tim Allen as a person, think what you will. Obviously, there's fair reasons to have issues with Tim Allen as a person, but as an actor, there is no other voice, I don't think, that can match Buzz's performance other than Tim Allen. And for Woody, it's not even close. Tom Hanks is Woody. Like, there's some, like, in the theme parks and in the video games, I think Jim Hanks does the voice. It might be enough to fool, like, the average person, but if you really listen to the performances, it's not the same. Tom Hanks is Woody, and no one else can even come close. So, I don't think, like, if they announced they're replacing the voice actors for those characters, it would never go over well. You say that, but who's voicing Buzz in Lightyear? Yeah, Chris, no, that's what I mean. So, so you say that, but the reason why they're able to get away with that is because it's not Buzz Lightyear. Like, it's not the Buzz we know. It's not the Buzz we know from the movies. It's a different, it's the character from the movie in the universe, not the character that we know from the movies we've seen. But if they, I guarantee you that if they ever made a Toy Story 5 and they announced that they're replacing the voice of Woody and Buzz with, I don't know, frickin' Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland. No, sorry, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. Then people would have an issue with that. People would absolutely have, I think people would have an issue with that if they announced that Chris Pratt was voicing Woody all of a sudden. I think that, oh, also James Corden. James Corden is Buzz Lightyear, and Chris Pratt is Woody the Cowboy Doll. Confirmed for Toy Story 5. I think that might ruffle some feathers. Just putting that out there. You just pretend Toy Story 4 is non-canon. That's my general life mantra, but I had to pretend it wasn't temporarily when I was making my series. Just to prove that it was shit and destroyed everything. Because that was like the premise of my series. I was originally just going to call it just my Toy Story 4 review or why I hate Toy Story 4, but it's like, nah, I have enough evidence to say that this movie destroyed the whole series, so I can easily call the series why Toy Story 4 destroyed everything. Why is Chris Pratt a meme? Because he voiced Mario, and then immediately afterward he's voicing Garfield. His voice acting is just, like, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. What, you Streamline, what you missed? You missed us dunking on Chris Pratt just a couple seconds ago, and you missed us talking about whether they would be able to replace Woody and Buzz as voice actors and get away with things. I don't think they could. I honestly think that if they announced Toy Story 5 and said, hey, we're replacing them with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland or something like that, I think that wouldn't go over well at all. I think that people would have issues with that. Insane cast even crazier than the Mario movie. That's kind of my point, is I just went for the most insane casting you could possibly think of. What's your favorite game of all time? Yeah, that's a question. So when the toy have the same voice as the actor? Not necessarily, because in our universe, Jim Hanks does the voice of the Woody the Cowboy Doll, not Tom Hanks. In universe. Well, so in our universe, some of the toys have different voices than the actual person who does the voice themselves. So it's not unheard of for the character themselves to have different voices. That's a perfectly possible opportunity. Your favorite is Red Dead Redemption 2. I've never played it, so I can't speak to that. And Undertale is very much definitely in my top 10 of all time. If you like Sly Cooper series, has its flaws. Never played Sly Cooper, but yeah, I'm interested because I'm playing my favorite game of all time right now. I'm interested to hear what you all have as your what you all would vote for as even if you don't have like a number one favorite game, just kind of some of your all-time favorites. You love Disc J, Devil Summer, Soul Hackers, and Ghost Trick. I've never played any of those except Ghost Trick. I have played Ghost Trick, and Ghost Trick is an underrated gem. I didn't hear about it, but someone brought it to my attention, and I'm glad someone did because, man, it was a great ride. Shuji Takumi knows how to write. It proved that Ace Attorney wasn't a fluke. That man knows how to write. He knows damn well how to write. Pokemon Emerald? Yeah, the only Pokemon game I've played is Pokemon Sword, which, it's Pokemon Sword, so guess how that went. But it did not incentivize me to play more than just Pokemon Sword, I'll say that much. Alright, I'll read some of your guys' messages in a second. I just gotta get through this chase sequence real quick, and then I'll check in on what other favorite games you've been posting in chat. If you want to listen to my 10 favorite games, for those of you who don't know my top 10 of all time, my number 10 is Portal 2, number 9 is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, number 8 is Undertale, number 7 is the Telltale's Walking Dead collection, number 6 is Galaxy 2, number 5 is Cuphead, 4 is the Ace Attorney trilogy, 3 is Master Chief Collection, the Halo Master Chief Collection, 2 is Battle for Bikini Bottom, and 1 is this. So that's my top 10. What is it with well-written franchises in the 4th entry ruining everything? Because trilogies work really well. Like, well-written trilogies often can tell really well-written stories, but then someone wants more money and they're like, oh, well, I mean, our trilogy did really well, but, like, what if we wanted more money? So then they have someone else, they try to continue, they have a completed story, because oftentimes trilogies are a very well executed thing in storytelling to go for a trilogy. And then they're like, we want more money, so they try to fix what's not broken, and try to continue a story that didn't need to be continued, and then they destroy everything in the process. Or even if they don't destroy everything, because like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull doesn't destroy the world of Indiana Jones. Well, I guess it technically might, because it introduced the concept of interdimensional beings, so there's an argument to be made there. But it doesn't like destroy Indiana Jones's character or Marian's character or anything like that. It just makes no goddamn sense. But yeah, typically, historically speaking, Toy Story 4, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, stuff like that, does not bode well. And even if you go by Danganronpa standards, V3 is technically the 4th game in the series, because it's Trigger Happy Havoc, Danganronpa 2, Ultra Despair Girls, and then V3. So, fits the bill pretty nicely there. Let's see what we got here. Ace Attorney, okay, I figured Ace Attorney would be popping up a lot. Sly Cooper, let's say it again. You don't have a favorite either, but some of your favorites are Cave Story, Shovel Knight, and Binding of Isaac. Yeah, Shovel Knight, King of Cards kind of broke me, but I did enjoy playing the original Shovel Knight, Plague of Shadows, and Inspector Torment. I can see myself replaying some of those games in the distant future after I've distanced myself from King of Cards a little bit. Pokemon Sword is controversial. Yeah, it's real. I mean, thing is, I've never really played a Pokemon game before that point, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to. So I didn't really have the motivation to get pissed off by it or to be annoyed by it. I just kind of played it and was like, oh, that was a game. Because like the reason I enjoyed that LP wasn't because I enjoyed the game at all. It was just because I enjoyed, you know, spending time with Forget 45 and kind of talking about stuff while I play the game. So that was what I enjoyed about that LP. But the game itself, if I was just doing that LP solo, I don't think I ever would have made it through. I don't think I ever would have made it through that game if I was playing it by myself. You have the same opinion a lot of people when it comes to Pokemon. It used to be great, but then it got old after Gen 5, and Pokemon Sword and Shield, yeah. That's the thing. I don't really hate the game, but that's because it's my only Pokemon game. I've never played a Pokemon game other than Sword, so I have nothing to compare it to. But I'm fully cognizant of the fact that that people have a lot of negative things to say about it. People claim Hollow Knight to be perfect. I found it boring. That's one of the games people recommended to me. I'll probably try it one day, but not anytime soon. It's not that King of Cards is bad. You seem to be enjoying LP. So I didn't say it was. I'm pretty sure I didn't say it was bad today. I just said that I need to distance myself from it because I mean, you'll never see the final episode because I don't plan to ever finish uploading it. But that the final boss battle broke me because there is no checkpoint between the second and third phases. So I kept having to redo that second phase over and over again, waiting for the bash to actually let me get on top of the Skull's head and finish him off. Also, just the reaction to my King of Cards LP in general just kind of pushed me away from it. So that's what I mean when I say distance myself from it. Because I think if I distance myself from it a bit, I think I'll be able to enjoy the game, the whole collection in a few years' time. You love my Sword and Shield LP? Thank you. I mean, I definitely had a lot of fun recording it, just because it was a time that was probably the most amount of time, because obviously that was, you know, with how busy college schedules are, and because we forgot 45 and I don't go to the same college, so we were, you know, long distance kind of thing. So that was the most amount of time we got to kind of spend time with each other and talk in a long time. So it was a very fun thing to do for us to be able to record that together. Even if Pokemon itself was frustrating me a bit. Do I like roguelike games? I've never played one, so I guess I can't really say. But I don't really have any incentive to play them. And I will say that I think, what was it, Returnal? It was something that came out recently. I think it was a PlayStation game that was announced during the State of Play not last summer. There was a State of Play, I think, last year, where Returnal or something was announced, or at least shown in greater detail. And when they announced it, or showed off gameplay for it, they were really proud of themselves. They were like, every time you respawn, it's a brand new, randomly generated arena. And I'm just like, that's the point of a roguelike. You literally just described a roguelike. You're not original for coming up with this. That's you've described the genre. That is the genre. So I found that a little weird, but I've never played one. I can't really speak negatively on as to the genre as a whole. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll play one day. But I have no plans to cover one anytime soon. Alright, step 1, Dragon Spirit on. Step 2, Target Lock on. Did I play LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean? I played it when I was a kid. I played it 100%, and yes, I enjoyed it. And I will one day make a 100% walkthrough for it, because one of the things that people used to love about my channel was I made a LEGO 100% LEGO walkthrough showing where all the collectibles are, because there's a lot of really tough, well-hidden collectibles in LEGO games. So I made 100% walkthroughs for Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and Batman, and Indiana Jones 2. So I will definitely make one for Pirates and probably Batman 2 one day. Some of the later LEGO games I've not been impressed with at all, but the earlier ones are very good. So I definitely want to cover Pirates on the channel one day. If I was going to play one, you recommend Splunky or the Binding of Isaac? I've heard Binding of Isaac is really good. I've seen some people play it. I don't know much about it though. The Yakuza series is pretty interesting. One of the streamers I watch, that was the wrong play there. One of the streamers I watch is, I know that's like his favorite game series of all time, Ray Narvaez Jr., formerly of Achievement Hunter. He absolutely adores the Yakuza series. I don't know anything about it, but I know that a couple of people recommended me to play that last year. Yeah, you had a terrible day? Oh, sorry to hear that, Tage89. Hopefully the stream today will be able to cheer you up a little bit. Sorry to hear that you had a terrible day, but my hope is that hanging out on the stream today, talking with us, will hopefully be able to improve your mood a little bit. Because that's one of my goals with the channel is to kind of bring a smile to at least one person's face. Because I got some comments. I've been getting comments just regularly over the years saying like, hey, this video brightened my day, improved my mood, or put a smile on my face, just things like that. And my favorite types of comments that I get are the ones where someone says like, hey, I was in a rough mood or had a bad day, and this video cheered me up, so thanks for that. Because that's one of the core reasons why I do this in the first place, is to kind of cheer people up and bring a smile to people's day. So if I can do that for you today, then I will have done my job successfully. So I hope you enjoyed the stream today. We are currently fighting Singe the Dragon, and it's going fairly well. I could die at any moment, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, I think I might have screwed this up. Yeah, I wasted. I need to stop talking. What happened there is I said, this boss fight's going great, and then I screwed up colossally. So, lesson learned, don't talk, and don't count your chickens count my chickens before they hatch. That's the game plan here, because that's why I just screwed that up colossally. Favorite LEGO game is LEGO Harry Potter. It's very fun from the time before LEGO games had voice acting, which makes it even better. Yeah, honestly, I definitely have a preference for the older LEGO games. It's not even so much the lack of voice acting. I know that's one thing a lot of people aren't a fan of with the newer ones, is that there's voice acting now, and one of the things that kind of made the original so appealing is what they were able to do, because limitations can spur on creativity, isn't like you have to accomplish this within this short amount of time, or within these constraints to figure out how to make this work. So there was kind of figuring out a way to tell the story of Indiana Jones or Star Wars when the characters couldn't speak, and it was really creative seeing what they could come up with. But now that they have voice acting enabled, it kind of takes away from that a little bit. But honestly, my bigger problem with the newer ones is how they... that was bad, I took a hit there, I shouldn't have. They kind of have lost their charm, I think, because they've gotten more hand-holdy and less explorative in that... Okay, that's the boss defeated. Used to be, it was kind of like, they just kind of set you free into an environment, and they let you run around and explore and break blocks and solve puzzles at your leisure. Now it's very segmented and scripted and cinematic, in that the camera pans throughout the stage, and it's like, do this now, do that now, and they kind of block you off in certain sections instead of being all open at once. So that's kind of my biggest problem with the newer games. But I did play LEGO Harry Potter. My friend invited me to a beach house when we were kids, and when we came back from the beach to the house, we played LEGO Harry Potter on the Wii he brought with him. So I remember playing that. That was fun. Watch my Room VR series. Next thing you know, binge the whole series. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed the Room VR series. Yeah, Room VR is really good. I think it's definitely my favorite game in the series. Oh, if someone asked what my favorite plot twist is in a game, it's this. Because it completely plays off of your knowledge of the arcade game, that Singe is the final battle. and then it completely twists that on its head. Really, I broke this. I'm kind of talking over the story, so you don't really get a chance to see it for yourself. But if you want to see an analysis of why I think this plot twist is so smart and so ingeniously crafted, you can go check out my Dragons of 3D video where I kind of break the story of this game down in detail. What are my top 10 least favorite games? V3 at the top, then Ultra Despair Girls. I think... Would Apollo Justice come next? Oh, before I continue answering this question, I want to draw attention to a comment I just got on my Danganronpa 3 finale, which says, all this guy did was insult everything he saw. Great conclusion. I'm happy to hear that someone has summarized my Danganronpa 3 series with me insulting everything that I saw. Thanks. You'll love to see it. See, I'd go with V3, Ultra Despair Girls, Apollo Justice, Hello Neighbor, because like my list has changed significantly since. It's kind of weird. I made my list of top 10 least favorite games like right before I started playing all the Danganronpa games, and I just discovered how crap everything can be. So I go with V3 at the top, then Ultra Despair Girls, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Fortnite, Hello Neighbor, Sonic and the Secret Rings, probably Zero Time Dilemma would probably still be there. I might not include the SpongeBob movie game anymore. I might remove that off the list, but I think I'd still have Rainbow Six Siege in there. Definitely Call of Duty would be still there. Just the series as a whole. Probably FNAF Air Special Delivery, stuff like that. Where to place Lego games on my favorite games list? Lego Indiana Jones would probably be in my top 15. Probably. I've been thinking about making a top 20 games list one day, but I think, because Lego Indiana Jones is like right outside the top 10. I really like Lego Indiana. A lot of people have Lego Star Wars as their favorite, but I've always been more partial to Indiana Jones. I've never been a big Star Wars fan, so that's probably why Lego Indiana Jones is there.
But thanks to Princess Daphne,
instead of Star Wars. Favorite games, your favorite games, no particular order, are Persona 5, Sonic Unleashed, Metroid Dread, Trials and Tribulations, Ratchet & Clank, Crack in Time. I have played 3 of those, and I've only finished one of those, because I'm still playing Persona 5, I've only played a little bit of Sonic Unleashed, and I've obviously beaten Trials and Tribulations. One day I might do a Ratchet & Clank arc on the channel, where I kind of go back and play the older games in the series, because I really like Ratchet & Clank 2016 and Rift Apart, so I kind of want to see what the other games are like, so I might do that one day.
And while struggling to pull it out, that dumb dragon.
Danganronpa V3 ending must really mess me up if it's my least favorite game of all time, especially considering I thought the rest of the game was alright. Well, that's the thing. A bad ending can really, really destroy a game.
Had it not been for you.
Like, it's... That ending makes the whole series irrelevant, so yeah, it definitely tanks it. But it's also worth noting that the first chapter of Danganronpa V3 is terrible, as is Chapter 3, as is Chapter 5. So Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 are the only good ones. So, you know, I don't even know that I'd go that far. I might have said it in the moment, but retrospectively, V3 is not the masterpiece that the world thinks it is. And nothing more than a grump who only complains. Definitely, you don't have a thing called negative opinion. Well, it's not even that, it's just like... Because like I said earlier, I welcome constructive criticism. And people have made constructive criticism of my Toy Story 4 series, and I welcome more of it, because the more constructive criticism I get, the more I can use it to improve my work in the future. But what I don't like is when you just minimize and reduce the work I put into those series as just mindless complaining, or lol, you're just a hater, or, you know, stuff like that. Because it's like, it takes hundreds of hours. I think it took about 1,000 hours for me to make my Toy Story 4 series. So... if you want to criticize my work, go for it. I welcome it. It will only improve my work in the future. But just screaming, lol, you're a hater, or lol, you're blinded by nostalgia, or lol, you're just complaining, that doesn't help me, and it doesn't help anything. It's just annoying to see, and it just pisses me off. So, that's that, I guess. You eventually learn that the reason most people like Danganronpa is because they actively refuse to think about the mystery until the class trial begins. I think what you could do is cut off your comments after the word think, and then you have your answer. Just reread the comment you posted in chat, but stop after you say the word think. And then you have your answer for why people like Danganronpa. They murdered Korkir in both ways. Yeah, he's character assassinated because what he does doesn't make any sense for what he actually wants to do. And they literally murdered him due to the most nonsensical murder mystery ever because there's no reason he should have gone for the second murder. It makes the... Chapter 3 is so bad. I don't know how many people caught it, but I actually meant, in part 1 of my Toy Story 4 series, there's like a 1-second reference when I'm talking about how they open the window in Molly's room, and I say that the Barbie dolls use a seesaw to get up to the window, and I say the word seesaw, and then I shudder, and then I just show the clip of Danganronpa V3 where they have the seesaw moment. I don't know how many people. I did that. Words are hard. I don't know how many people caught that, but I wanted to throw it in there just for those paying extra close attention to reward those who caught that and wanted to reminisce on how crap V3 is. Anyway, I'm gonna really like the next Persona Palace. I hope I do, because I was not impressed with Kanashiro's Palace. I was impressed with Makoto's character development in Kanashiro's Palace, but the palace itself, kind of underwhelming, gotta be honest. I was very much ready to get back to the main, like, to get out of the metaverse, essentially. I liked the boss fight, for the most part, and I liked Makoto's character work, but I was not thrilled by the theming of Kanashiro's, thing. Oh, and let's not forget Rope, yeah, ugh. What was a game that I loved and that I now hate? I can answer the reverse. I definitely can answer the reverse, but in terms of a game that I hated and now love. A game that I love and now I hate. I don't know that I have one. I'm trying to, like, I hate answering questions with I don't have one, because that just feels like a cop-out. So I'm really trying to think about a game that I used. Actually, oh wait, no, I have an answer. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. I loved that game as a kid. Absolutely loved that game as a kid. Robot was not that bad. You're right. It wasn't as abhorrent and egregious as the seesaw effect, but it was still pretty prevalent throughout that case. I was very sick of the word ropeway by the end of case 2, but not as much as I was sick of seesaw by the end of case 3.
Glad that's over.
But to answer your question about a game I used to love and now I hate, the answer to that question would be the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, because I loved that game as a kid. I absolutely loved playing that game as a kid, because the SpongeBob movie, the first one, not 2 or 3, but the first SpongeBob movie is really, really good, and I just loved, you know, exploring the levels as a kid, because the core movement and camera is the same as Battle for Bikini Bottom, because they just copied and pasted the camera and movement engine over from that game. So it's kind of hard to screw that up, but they did it anyway. So it's still fun to move around the levels. The problem is that most of the game is driving and tedious combat, and it sucks. So I used to love it as a kid, and I honestly still have some nostalgia for it. But playing through that game at the end of last year to 100% made me realize just how crap it all is. Kind of opened my eyes to how nostalgia blinded I was previously. Probably to stop forcing myself to finish Palace in one go, run out of SP halfway. Maybe, but the reason why I try to do the Palaces in one shot is so I have more time to spend with people, because people have been, like, I just died. I need to get to rank up characters in order to get the royal content, so I want to make sure I have the time to do that. So that's kind of my thing there, is that, like, because if you leave the Palace and then come back to it again a different day, that's a day wasted, essentially. So I'm trying to optimize the time as best I can to spend time with people, to do it all in one shot. It may not be best for SP, but that's my that's kind of my mindset for that. So yeah, on the bright side, Danganronpa can be used as an example of what not to do when you're... Oh, absolutely. Like, if you wanna teach a class on, hey, what not to do when writing a murder mystery visual novel, Danganronpa is the poster child. That's like, they should use that in universities to teach about game design and writing for video games. It's like, see this? Don't do this shit. All right, next lesson. That's what they should do. That was poor jump. That was poor platforming skills on my part. I actually wanted to point out how a shot put ball could break a vent dropping from the height, but wasn't sure how bullshit vents worked. Yeah, that's a... Jesus Christ, I don't even want to get into how the science of that shot put ball just dropping down because momentum isn't a thing, and how none of the characters point out how none of it works properly in Tsumugi's alibi. It's just, I really believe the reason why people think Chapter 1 is great is just because of the fact that it's Kaede spoilers, not that anyone cares, the fact that the character you're playing as is the killer. It's like, oh my god, they've never done that before, what a crazy plot twist here, but they don't actually think about it, like they don't think about the implications of it, they just go, oh, the plot twist as a concept is pretty cool, therefore it must be a cool plot twist, which is not how anything works. I'm really getting tired of people giving credit to ideas just for ideas alone, because ideas are cheap. What counts is the execution of those ideas. Would I ever consider doing a series of Metal Gear games? Probably not. They're stealth games, right? I don't know that I would be super... That's a spider. Hold on. Let me not look at chat for a second here. There we go. Now I can look at chat. I think they're stealth games, right? Never really been a fan of those types of games. I mean, I did play the budget cut games, which are kind of a unique take on stealth games in VR. So that I enjoyed. But generally speaking, just as stuff like that has never been my cup of tea. So probably not, but, you know, you never know. I never like to say no, unless you ask me to play, like, the only thing I'll say no to is if you ever ask me to play, like, Call of Duty or Fortnite, that I'll say no to definitively. But anything else, like, stuff I have no knowledge of, I don't want to say no to, because I could always consider to play it one day. So yeah, that's my answer there. As the reverse, what's a game that I hate and now I love? You might be surprised to hear it, but Halo Wars. Yeah, I know, right? Remember earlier when I said that I don't just unanimously love everything Halo puts out? Well, there's your answer. When I first played Halo Wars, I hated it. Now, my reasons weren't really justified because the reason I didn't like it is because I was used to playing Halo as an FPS and not an RTS, being a first-person shooter, not a real-time strategy game. But when I actually gave it a second chance one day, actually it was very recently that I decided to give the game another shot. And when I did, and I actually treated it as an RTS and not an FPS, I got really into the genre of FPSs, of RTSs, and I found myself really enjoying it. So, that would be an answer, because I hated Halo Wars when I first played it. But now I've given it another shot, and I very much enjoy it now. Even if I don't think I'll ever stream it again, because like I said, RTSs plus streams don't really work out all that well. This might kill me. Please don't crush me. I think I'm standing in the right spot. Okay, we're good. But yeah, that's my answer for that one. Either that or finish Kawakami's confidence. You can tell her to make coffee every night and have enough SP items. I might go back to spending time with Kawakami, because that is useful. If she makes coffee every night, that'll help me out for SP. So I might just speed run her thing, so I can get that special item, and then because I do like to try to get the palace done in one shot, so I can have time to spend time with people afterwards. That's my thought process there. About the metaverse, do not neglect mementos. Each time you complete a palace, a new subfloor opens there. Mementos is ginormous. People keep telling me to do that, and I've just never gotten around to it. I feel like it's because people tell me that if I don't rank up the confidence in a certain amount of time, I will not be able to get the royal content. So my priority right now is just getting through the royal content. Because, like, getting to it, like, making it so that I can play it, because that's one thing people really were adamant about in earlier episodes, is make sure you spend time with these people, because if you don't, you will not be able to get to the special bonus royal content. So that's my game plan. That's my top priority, is to make absolutely sure I can actually unlock that special content, whatever it is. That's my game plan there. The next story arc is fantastic, and it introduces a character voiced by Kotoko's VA from Ultra Despair Girls. You can see past it, I think you'll love the character. Well, I mean, yeah, so, like, Makoto is voiced by Kamara's voice actress from Ultra Despair Girls, and I hate that game, but I don't really judge the quality of it by the voice actors themselves, because honestly, I think the voice actors did the best job they could with the shitty material that is Danganronpa, so I place no blame on them for voicing the characters. I just think it's funny that a character named Makoto is voiced by the character who voiced Makoto's sister in a completely different game. I just think that's funny to think about. So, that's all I had to say there. You considered making a simulation for the shop up on Unity 3D as a shitpost, but that would involve playing the game to get references. I don't want to. I actually considered that, honestly, when I was editing the video, I actually considered setting up a simulation, kind of like what you were talking about, but not in Unity. I was going to do it in Blender, because I'm more familiar with Blender, to kind of show off, like, this is how science works. Please do not neglect science in your analysis. I beg of you. Science is important. But I just didn't have the time. I really was trying to get that series done as fast as possible just to get it done in time for Greatest Attorney Chronicles. So I didn't have time to, but it would... Like, if I ever made a critique of Danganronpa, which I'll never, ever do this. You can hold me to it. I'll never make a critique of Danganronpa V3, because that would force me to play it again. I don't ever want to do that. But if I ever did, I would make a simulation kind of like that to show the science behind... Or I just set it up in real life, I guess. Because it wouldn't be that hard to set up something similar to that with a real-life, like, diorama kind of thing. I might do that. You want to make Unity because of physics simulations? Yeah, I can understand that, but I think Blender also has... Because Blender is a 3D animation software that people can use for, like, animating stuff. So it also has that kind of physics simulation. I've actually made stuff similar to that for other projects, so I'm more familiar with it, so I would probably use that. But yeah, both Unity and Blender both have those kinds of physics simulation things. So that's kind of... I would understand that. I didn't get this, really? Okay. Most of Kodaka's working towards science in general. Science and just basic facts of how things work, essentially. He didn't meet the character yet. You're right, I didn't, but I've been told I will meet him or her very soon. Well, I assume it's a her. Very soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the character's going to be like. What's a game that's really dumb but you like? Minecraft Story Mode. I said this at the beginning of the stream. Minecraft Story Mode is one of the biggest reasons why Forgot 45 and I are as close as we are today. So even though the game is really stupid and it makes no sense and it's really lazy contrived writing, it does hold a special place in my heart because of how, like, that's the reason why I bonded with her and we are where we are in our relationship today is because of that game. So I kind of have a special place in my heart for the game, even though it's horrendously constructed. Unfair mysteries are only enjoyable if you don't care about the mysteries themselves, which, at that point, if you aren't watching a mystery because you want to solve the mystery, then what are you doing at that point? Probably don't know this, but do you know the mental side quest? A lot of the confidence lock it at rank 8 and require completing mental quest to... Oh, that's pain. That's painful is what that is. I stopped paying attention for a second and I took damage. I'm gonna need a health potion in a second, okay. But yeah, I didn't know that. Thanks for the advice, because that's frustrating. But I guess that at least gives me an incentive to go to the mementos now. Miraculous is a strong start. I do not know what Miraculous is. You complained about their shoe print database. Google showed... Yeah, okay, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say there is a shoe print database. Yes, I'm aware there is a shoe print database, but that doesn't change anything, because the way a shoe print database works is not at all the way a shoe print database works in Apollo Justice. It's not at all how it works. It's two completely different things. Someone actually brought that up on my ranking every Ace Attorney case video, which, by the way, I don't understand. Like, I'm continually baffled that video is as popular as it is. It's one of my most viewed videos on the channel, and I'm perpetually baffled by that. But okay, I'll take it. But yeah, I got a comment about that, and it's good to know because when I make my Apollo Justice video, I can incorporate that into my research, so I know a bit more about that now. But it doesn't work. The way it works in our world isn't the same way that Apollo Justice thinks it works, so it doesn't really counter that criticism, I'm afraid. But it is good you did the research. Michael Storm was nice, they're going to agree the hate it gets. Oh, I think there are some genuinely good scenes in there, but by and large, it's got some dialogue that I don't know. I guess I'd have to do a bit more of a comprehensive analysis to give more specific references. But there's some sloppily written dialogue and some lazy contrivances in there. But there are some genuinely strong moments, occasionally, that I could point out if I ever made a series on it, which I never would. But yeah, I guess I'll say it's not... Oh, I didn't get the things over here. I missed these entirely. Best character that is exclusive to Apollo Justice? Exclusive to Apollo Justice. Oh, wow. But they all suck. Wow. That's... actually, no, wait, I can say this, because okay, if you think this is an exploit, then fine, I'll give a better answer, but Emma Skye in Apollo Justice is not Emma Skye in Spirit of Justice, or Rise from the Ashes, so, I'm gonna consider that a non-cop-out, and I'm gonna say that that character, the way Emma's characterized in that game is exclusive to Apollo Justice. If you think that's a cop-out, fine. I'll give a different answer. My answer would probably be... they're all so terrible. Honestly, probably, you know the waitress in Turnabout Trump? I don't know her. What was her name? Olga or something? I think it was Olga or something like that. She'd probably be my pick for favorite game-exclusive character. Eldon wasn't that bad, I think. I just remember the voice I gave him, which is like, now you see, but I don't actually know anything beyond that. Because most of the characters are just not that... They're either unlikable or just... Like, they're either unlikable in the sense that you hate them or unlikable in the sense that there's nothing about them that's worth an emotional reaction. Okay, or Olga Orly. Vera Misham's entire premise was not communicating with us, which is frustrating because when she's the defendant, you need her to tell you information, and her entire character was based on the premise of, I will tell you nothing, haha, get owned, kind of thing, so, it's annoying. Okay, I need help before I go into this next section. Drink this. But I think Olga Orly would probably get my pick. It's pretty sad that Pain is probably the most horrible part of Turnabout Trump. The most tolerable part of Turnabout Trump is when you hear Phoenix's objection clip. Which isn't saying much because it's just nostalgia pandering, but, you know, it's something, I guess. I wonder if Capcom made Takumi ride the political debate for a jury system at the time and forced him to make it the jurist in the case that shall not be named. I don't know about I don't know what would have gone down there. But... yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the specifics of what would have gone down there. I just know that the way the jury system was implemented into the game is dumb as hell, and the way it's implemented in The Greatest Disney Chronicles is infinitely better. It's not even close. Because the way it's implemented there makes sense. It makes sense gameplay-wise and story-wise. The only thing that I don't like about the jury system in Greatest Disney Chronicles is the fact that the jury is constantly stacked in favor of the defense. It's like, some of those cases... The only reason why they won is because the jury was stacked, and had the jury not been stacked, they never would have won. Which I'm not a fan of that at all. I think that's really annoying. That it's just, the jury is stacked with all the people they need at the exact moment they need it. So that's honestly, that's probably my biggest problem with the Greatest Disney Chronicles as a collection, is the fact that that jury system just saves their asses so goddamn much. Apollo Justice came out, oh yeah, I gather that's what they were talking about, was like whether they were considering having that as a message. But whether that was the intent or not, whether the intent was to kind of comment on that politically, I don't really care. Like, I don't have an issue with that. Oh my god, this probably means death. I'll try to say this, but I don't think there. I mean, it might have been forced in there, but if it was, it doesn't really matter, because whether... something could be forced in there, or it could be a result of the writer's natural desire to want it there. But whether it was forced in there or not, doesn't really matter, because it's still the same either way. Like let's say Kadaka was forced to write the ending of V3 in a way that nukes the universe, right? Let's say that. Let's say he was forced to do it and it wasn't his choice. It's still the same either way, because V3 still breaks Danganronpa as a whole. So it doesn't really matter whether it's forced or not. You still broke everything. So whether the jury system was forced in there or not, it's still not well executed. Like, you could have forced in a jury system and had it be good. Like, you can have things be forced and be good. It's not a binary. If the writer didn't want this in there and it was forced upon them by other factors, it's not guaranteed to be crap. Could be Waki the Gangster. Oh, you mean Waki Kataki, who I called as, I think, Wacky Waki, and will probably be calling Wacky Waki in my video. Yeah, he's terrible. The whole point is you're supposed to like your defendant. You're supposed to make them empathetic, so you want to defend them. Or alternatively, you can go the opposite direction and make them evil, like obviously Justice for All with Feral My Turnabout. But that game is cognizant of the fact that, like, that's the idea, is that you're in a position where you don't want to defend the client, but you have to save Maya, kind of thing. But that's not what Apollo Justice did. Apollo Justice was like, hey, you should defend Waki because, well, don't you feel bad for him? Don't you want to save his ass? Like, no, he's quite crap, actually. Thanks, though. But, you know, it's whatever, I suppose. Apollo Justice, good idea, bad execution. Yes, that is a perfect summary of Apollo Justice. It had good ideas, it had horrendous execution. Would I ever make a cross-examination ranking? Probably not. I've given thought to it, but I don't really have, like, I'm not very proficient with giving analytical thoughts on music, because really it would just come down to, like, I don't study music, I don't know music theory, I don't know the mechanics that are involved in constructing a well-orchestrated, well-composed, mellifluous piece of music, so I wouldn't really be able to offer anything insightful. Because the reason why I think so many people like my Ace Attorney videos is because I'm very clinical and analytical with breaking down why the stories work and why they don't. But I couldn't do that for music because I just listen to it and I'm like, whether I like it or not is kind of where my stance is there. Or where my stance is on that. So I wouldn't be able to say anything insightful or meaningful about the music. I'd just be able to say, did I like listening to this or did I not? And that's kind of all there is there. So I could rank them. And I have ranked them in comments before. But the reason why it works well for comments ranking is because all I have to say there is just, oh, I like this in this order. Like, this is my personal ranking of all this stuff. So, it's my thought there. But I guess on the top of my head, I don't really have, I guess I have to think about it more from what my personal rankings for them would be. The jury being involved is something most people found a non-issue, surprisingly normally certain stuff to say. Yeah, I mean, I can see why people wouldn't think it's an issue, because, I mean, the rest of the game is so good, I can understand why it wouldn't bother you, but it definitely bothers me, and it's really not that great in terms of, like, that's what saves the day in the end, is just the fact that the jury happens to be stuck, because it's all random, that boils down to random chance as to who ends up on the jury, and the fact that the people end up on the jury that are is really, really lazy in terms of how they've orchestrated that.
The Smithies.
Even Spirit Justice was kind of meh. You mean the game as a whole, or the cross-examination theme? Because the game as a whole is not meh. Spirit of Justice is a great game. But if you mean, like, the cross-examination theme, I'd have to listen to it again to give a better stance on that. Imagine, what was a disappointment of a game? Zero Time Dilemma. I had such high hopes for Zero Time Dilemma, and it let me down so... Okay, I think I might have lost, because I've been really sloppy with this run so far. But, like, Zero Time Dilemma, my expectations were through the roof, because Virtue's Last Reward was such a phenomenal video game, and it set the stakes so high, and Zero Time Dilemma just couldn't meet them. It could not live up to the expectation, because they dug themselves into a hole they couldn't possibly escape from. Ironically, there was zero escape from the hole they dug themselves into with Virtue's Last Reward. There was nothing they could have done to... Well, I mean, I guess maybe there was, but there were so few options they had to fix the rules of time travel they established. And then they didn't even try, like, they didn't even try to conclude the story. They just abandoned the story, took on a new story, and then they didn't even conclude that because they said, oh, well, the guy's still out there, so, you know, go stop him or whatever. Which is just like, why did you bother if you weren't even going to conclude the story? Like, you introduced a bunch of new characters, you didn't conclude the story of the old characters.
The dragon.
Why did you even bother at that point?
Now you can add magic.
But also Halo 5 Guardians. Halo 5's marketing was exceptional, and it teased such a great story between Locke versus Chief kind of thing, and the game just wasn't that. I'm sure you don't even need to tell you why the Hunt the Truth campaign was such false advertising, manipulative marketing. But, you know, a lot of people who like Apollo Justice hate the Dual Destiny Spirit of Justice, call 5 the 5 worst case. I think that's hilarious. I think it's hilarious that people think that Spirit of Justice and Dual Destinies are worse than Apollo Justice. It's kind of... It'd be kind of like if they made a Toy Story 5. Like if I wrote Toy Story 5, I would go out of my way to directly spit in the face of Toy Story 4 as much as I possibly could, and I would feel no shame in it whatsoever. I just find it humorous, because, like, if you think Toy Story 4 is a great film, good luck calling anything bad ever. If you think that is a mark of quality, I look forward to seeing what films you think are bad. I would love to see that. I think that'd be hilarious to see. Because Dual Destiny and Spirit of Justice try their hardest to fix what Apollo Justice broke and end up actually giving substantive development to the characters who didn't get any Apollo Justice. So I just find it funny that people think that they're worse. It's just so hilarious. Imagine if a Walking Dead Telltale sequel comes out of for no reason other than money and destroys characters, brings back dead characters. I would be furious. If Clementine's story ended perfectly, and AJ's story. It was the culmination of all the build-up between all 4 seasons. They need to stop there. I mean, well, thing is, they really can't go any further because Telltale doesn't exist anymore. But, like, let's say Skybound wanted to continue the story. They never would, but if they did, I would be furious. Would not be happy if they tried to do that. Would not be happy at all. We didn't want Phoenix, as defendant in terms of memories, an example of well-done force. Yeah, like, it can be done. You can have it be forced in and end up paying off significantly. But it's not, I mean, it's like, it's, that's why when someone says, oh, the writer didn't want this, it was forced into the story, it's like, okay, that's an interesting piece of background information to help inform the story, but ultimately, what we got is still a great story, so I don't particularly care that it wasn't of the writer's decision, because they still made a great story in the end anyway. So that's my thought process there. Music is the only thing you disagree with me about when it comes to Apollo Justice. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I'm just not, like, if I was studying music in college, or if I understood music theory, I could provide more substantive reasoning for why I think that soundtrack is awful. I might be able to provide a more convincing argumentation. The problem is I don't know how to do that, because I'm just not well versed in that topic. Might die here. Maybe not. Okay, hold on. But yeah, I'm just not well versed in it, so all I can really say is this doesn't. I don't think this sounds good, and try my best to explain it. But I will never be able to provide as substantive of a criticism of it as I would if for the story and characters, because I think my criticisms of the story and characters are damn near airtight. But for the music, I can see why someone would think it. I can, like, if you think the music sounds great, I don't really blame you for that. I think that's a perfectly valid thing to think. But story-wise and characters, oh boy, it's a disaster. You shouldn't criticize just it's a miracle the game even exists. Oh, no, yeah, it's, as someone said, it's also a miracle Toaster 4 even exists. That's not, like I get people. I understand why you might say that. It's like, well, we are lucky we even got it at all. So yeah, well, I don't care if we're lucky we got it, because the thing we got is crap. Like, it literally destroys, well, I guess it doesn't destroy, it just, it tells you that the story you were invested in didn't mean anything, because it doesn't continue that story at all. It doesn't even try to continue it, it just abandons it, and it doesn't even finish the new story that they introduced. So I don't particularly care, and I know you were, like, mocking the people, like, that's why you put it in quotes, is you were trying to mock the people who would say that, but I'm just addressing the topic in question of, like, there are people who think that, and it's a dumb mindset to have. It's like, you should be thankful we even have the game at all. It's like, no, I shouldn't, because, like, by that standard, you can never criticize anything ever, because you should just be grateful that anything exists. It's such garbage. Dual Dusty's retcon everything in Apollo Justice. Why? Because Apollo Justice was shit. They actually think Phoenix had character development in Apollo Justice. Well, I have some bad news for those people. He did not. He regressed as a character. He didn't develop, he regressed. He undid his development and turned him into a shell of his former self. That's not development, that's character assassination. Alright, I need more mana before I... Actually, let me do this. I think the problem with the Apollo Justice soundtrack is the sound font and instruments. Maybe. Like I said, I'm not very great at qualifying that, so I can't really give a substantive reasoning there. What is the hardest game I've ever played? Hardest game I've ever played. So, if you want to talk about, like, which one is hard in terms of its proper design, as in, like, which one... What's the hardest game you played in terms of it's designed to be challenging, it's designed to test your skill, then it would be Cuphead, because Cuphead is a really challenging game that's a lot of fun to play. It's like I said, it's my top 5 games of all time. But if you want to talk games that are, like, hard for reasons that shouldn't be, then Halo 2 on Legendary is broken beyond belief. The health values are artificially buffed. The damage values are artificially nerfed. The fire rate of the enemy's weaponry is about double the speed of yours for no reason. The Jackal snipers react to you instantly, and you have no time to react. There's so many reasons why that game is broken on Legendary. So if you want to talk just in general, the answer is Halo 2 on Legendary. But if you want to talk in terms of games that are designed to be challenging, then it's Cuphead. I would believe. Although, the hardest individual thing in any game I've ever played is Sans from Undertale. I have never felt more satisfied after completing something in a game than I felt after I beat Sans in Undertale. I know it's a meme to say it, but seriously, Sans' final battle in the Genocide route is hard as balls to do. It took me days to beat that boss battle. But I did it. I'll never do it again unless maybe that'll be the next milestone. Maybe the next milestone I do after my Sunshine milestone will be to do a because I never did. People have been asking me for a genocide route for Undertale. I just never did it because I didn't think it would be very entertaining. But I might stream it one day. So maybe the next milestone will be. Well, I did that in record time. Maybe the next milestone will be after I hit a certain number of subscribers. I'll do a genocide route for Undertale. Well, maybe I'll stream that. They think Dual Destinies did for Phoenix what Toy Story 4 did for Jessie, which is pathetic. Which that's not even. Ugh. So I mean, the thing is, they're right in that Dual Destinies did revert Phoenix back to how he was in Trials and Tribulations, and they pretended Apollo Justice didn't exist. And I do actually think that is a criticism of Dual Destinies that I hold, which is that I think they shouldn't have just instantly snapped him back to the way that it was. They should have taken more time to not just Thanos snap it away. However, in the world where it's either you snap it back immediately or you don't snap him back at all, it's worth it just to get him back on track. Because the rest of Dual Destinies is still enjoyable and Spirit of Justice is great, but I do think it's infinitely funny when people, because like that's what I was talking about earlier. If they ever make a Toy Story 5, I might be screwed here. Let me go back and try that again. If they ever make a Toy Story 5 and they just instantly revert Woody back to the way he was in Toy Story 3 and Buzz back to the way they was in Toy Story 3 and Jessie back to the way she was in Toy Story of Terror, at that point I wouldn't even be annoyed. I wouldn't even be annoyed because he never should have had that development in the first place. It'd be so easy to revert them back to the way they were. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't feel bad at all, and I would cackle uncontrollably. If ever that film gets made and it fixes what Toy Story 4 broke, I will cackle uncontrollably at the idea of people being upset at it ruining Toy Story 4's ending. I will be it will be so delicious. Imagine if someone made an Ace Attorney game just for me on April Fools and it's designed to piss me off and make a just like Trials and Tribulations tier. No one would ever do that. Someone actually made an adventure map for me and Neil to play through in Minecraft a couple years ago, but no, I don't. I mean, I'm sure people hate me that much. I know those people that really hate the fact that I hate Apollo Justice. That was a close jump, but I don't think they hate me enough to the point where they would actually make an Apollo Justice game. Like that takes effort. I don't think people hate me that much. But if they do, and if someone ever makes, like, to be clear, if someone ever made something that, like, hey, play this, I'd be like, sure. If a fan, or even just someone who isn't a fan of me, actually made something for me to play, I'd be more than welcome. I'd be more than happy to check that out and give it a shot. Because when Neil and I played that adventure map that someone made for us, that was awesome to play. And I'd be more than happy to support a fan creation of something like that. I just don't think that would ever happen. Do I have a favorite Western animated series? Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb is one of my favorite shows of all time. That's why there's so many Phineas and Ferb clips in all my series. Because I just love that show so much. Let me get rid of this wall. Let me get this. Thank you. One of them's gonna be a boss like Sans and Deltarune, and choosing a boss is another more as hard as Sans. The one in Deltarune Chapter 2 came close. Obviously not as hard as Sans, but not anywhere near as, like, it was still a pretty tough challenge. It still took me a lengthy amount of time to beat that boss. But I am wondering if, like, the final chapter will have a Sans-like boss. I think it'd be cool to see, but we'll have to wait and see on that note. Someone made a video called "The Best Attorney Case Was Turned About Trump." Believe it or not, that video is actually in my watch later. I have that, excuse me, I have that bookmarked for my research for my Apollo Justice video. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch it when I get around to it for my research. It's, oh boy. Phoenix and Apollo Justice should have just been a new character. You know him as a cocky defense attorney, and he didn't fight for his badge way. Yeah, so I do think that you could apply a large patch to Apollo Justice if you just make Phoenix someone that isn't Phoenix. Like, literally, what they should have done, and honestly, I would not be surprised if it came out one day that Apollo Justice was originally, like, Phoenix's character was originally going to be a completely different defense attorney, but then Capcom stepped in and like, hey, what if we wanted more money and we asked you to make him Phoenix instead? I would not be surprised at all if that's what happened, because it doesn't feel like Phoenix's character. So if you just make it so that it's someone who is, like, just a completely different defense attorney, the story's still broken because of the whole, like, just the cases themselves are still broken, but at least Phoenix isn't character assassinated, so I genuinely think that we could apply a large patch to Apollo Justice if we just make that one simple change. That would at least make me hate it less. So how can something where Phoenix became the way he was in Apollo Justice work? So I need more time to think about that. But I would have him fight for his badge. First of all, I would have him fight for his badge. I would make him less arrogant in the flashback trial, and I would make him. I would make it so that it's. I really just make it so that he fights for his badge. Make him so that he reaches out to Edgeworth and Francisca for help to help him get his badge back. And make that the core of the game. So don't make it a flashback where nothing gets explained and it just makes everything worse. Something like that. Everyone said, hey, for Turnabout Storyteller case, super fun. I think the reason why people don't like Turnabout Storyteller is because... We're not going to talk about that jump. I think the reason people don't like that case is because it doesn't have anything to do with the overarching story of Spirit of Justice, like the revolution in Karine. Because even the Magical Turnabout, it doesn't have anything to do with Karine, but it is important for Apollo's character development and his development with Trucy, because, like, that's core to his character and his, like... Oh my god, you just jump-scared me. His decision to leave is kind of... one of the motivating factors is whether he wants to leave Trucy behind and all that. And then, of course, you know, right, Phoenix having the faith in his abilities gives him the motivation he needs in the end to stand on his own 2 feet. So... the Magical Turnabout still has importance to the overarching story of Spirit of Justice. The Turnabout Storyteller doesn't have anything to do with it. So I can understand that, but if in isolation the case is still really well constructed and I like it a lot. And really my biggest problems with Spirit of Justice is how the game handles Maya and Athena. Because I love both Maya and Athena's characters so much, and I really don't like the way they were treated. Because, like, it's not like they were character assassinated, it's just that they didn't get anything to do. Especially in a game that's supposed to be all about Maya's big return, they didn't use her character for anything other than to be a hostage and as a defendant. What are the odds? The two things she gets memed about the most. Thanks, Spirit of Justice, for not giving... I mean, you gave us a DLC case, which is something, but I still wish you actually gave Maya, like, her own... They should have given... Case 3 should have been her and Phoenix. It shouldn't... Just make the defendant someone else. Make Maya the assistant for Case 3. They should have just done that at the very least. And Athena should have been there on the stand with Apollo. Like, if you want it to be that in the final moments of the game, Apollo stands on his own, I understand that. But she still should have been there at least for the final trial to help them out, not just sitting in the stands feeling useless. I hate that at all. I hate the fact that Athena and Maya didn't get anything to do. Like I said, at least Maya got her case in Turnabout Time Traveler, but too little too late, I'm afraid. Still getting treasures. Yep, still getting treasures. Trying to clip that fail? Yeah, I'm sure. I've loved Phineas for the death, but I can't pick a favorite cartoon. Oh yeah, someone asked me between Avatar and Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb, because I know a lot of people's favorite childhood cartoon is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I get that, I really do, because Forgot 45 showed it to me this year, and it was amazing. But I don't really have the same emotional connection to it that I had to Phineas and Ferb, so Phineas and Ferb is still gonna win out in the end. One of my top 10 favorite video game characters of all time. Master Chief, Cortana, Master Chief, Cortana, Phoenix, Rinosuke, Susato, Clementine, who else? Those are the ones that immediately come to my head. I guess I'll probably just, yeah, I guess I'll keep that list there for now. Oh, another bot? God damn it. I really need, didn't I? Jesus Christ, hold on, I'll get it out of here, don't worry. Hide. And remove. I really need to start promoting mods, honestly. This is getting ridiculous. This is the most amount of bots this is the most bots we've seen in the stream so far. Hey, get out of here, stupid thing. See you later. Okay. What is the game that emotionally broke me the most? The game that emotionally broke me the most. So, it'd probably be V3. Just because that was like... I had already spent so much time deconstructing Danganronpa 3, and only for it to all be proved to be not meaning anything. Because at least Apollo Justice was fixed by Dual Destiny Spirit of Justice. But there was nothing to fix V3, it's just done forever. And that game broke the whole world, and the whole series, not just a couple characters. So I think V3 wins that battle easily. So yeah, the bots are gone. If they come back again, I'll start. I really need to start promoting mods, though. That should be my next thing I prioritize, is getting mods up. Storyteller, a great witness, one personalities. Yeah, it works well for what it is. I just wish Athena had more to do with the overarching story of Spirit of Justice instead of just having been relegated to a filler case. Kind of missed this more original thriller style that has casing more self-contained. I can understand that. I think that's down to personal preferences, whether you prefer it to have one overarching story that connects together, or whether you prefer to have like Villain of the Week style thing where each story is its own self-contained thing. I think I can understand a preference for either of those. I think the original trilogy and Chronicles are both executed well in the style they're going for. They're both really well written games. When somebody makes attorney, what are my thoughts on the $2 one-off cases that you can buy in Spirit of Justice? Oh, you mean the Asinine Attorney cases? Never played them, so I can't really comment on them. I have never played them. I've been told I should play them, but I've just never gotten around to it. I just don't, because I know it's non-canon. I don't really have any dying incentive to play them. But so you know, I don't really have any thoughts on them. Game that... Yeah, I already answered that one. You're calling it now. If Capcom ever does Season 27, Lamoir will be either a defendant or a murder victim because parents do not have a good track record in that universe. It'd be a gutsy move to kill her off. I think you're right that she might end up being the defendant. Maybe the first case, because that's one thing that they absolutely need to do in Ace 27 if it ever comes out, is they have to have Lamoir or Phoenix reveal the truth about the fact that Lamoir is their mother and that Apollo and Juicy are siblings. They have to do that. That is the one thing that because they set that up at the end of Spirit of Justice. If they don't follow through on that, I'm gonna be annoyed. I'm gonna be very annoyed. Your browser crashed. You missed something. You missed another bot. You missed another bot that infested the chat, but don't worry. We purged the bot from the chat. All's well now. But other than that, you missed me talking about the game that broke me the most, some of my favorite characters of all time, and that's about it. Oh, you also missed me navigating this room of pain, and oh god, I'm out of mana. I am out of mana. I am out of mana. Okay, crossbow time. V3 even broke Danganronpa fans. That's sad to think about. Yeah, V3 broke me as someone who doesn't even care about. Well, okay, I say that. It's not that I don't care. It's that I'm someone who has very negative things to say about Danganronpa, and V3 still broke me. Because I still had investment in the world, and now that's just gone. So, but yeah, it even dealt damage to the actual people who think the games are masterpieces. And there's even people who think that V3 is still a masterpiece, which is laughable. I already know about Danganronpa Another and Super Danganronpa Another 2, yes. Well, do you know that not only was the first one made by 11-year-old, but the sequels most people think is better than the best Danganronpa fan game, but that's better than the canon ones. Well, to be fair, it's not hard to be better than the canon Danganronpa games. But I've never played them myself, so I can't really comment on that. But it could be great. Who knows? If you made it 37, you want to be centered around Athena. Phoenix is complete. Apollo 2. Athena seems incomplete to me. Yeah, Athena deserves her own game. Athena absolutely deserves her own game. I would love to get a game where you just play as Athena. Because she got sidelined. She got shafted in Ace's turn in Spirit of Justice. So that she deserves her own game. I don't know if they'll give her one, but she deserves her own game. But I also think that Ace 27 should be the last game to kind of cap everyone's story off and serve as the definitive end game for the Ace Attorney series, so that no one can ever do what the people who wrote Apollo Justice did ever again. That's my hopes there. But yeah, an Athena game would be awesome. An end game style final battle game would be awesome. I'm down for pretty much anything that's not another Apollo Justice. As long as it doesn't break what Spirit of Justice concluded with. I might have screwed this up. Please don't snipe me out of the air. Please don't snipe me out of the air. Okay, that was close. I was like a second away from being sniped out of the air. There's a lot of things behind me as well. Don't snipe me while I snipe you. Hello. Ay. That's electricity. Turbo Storyteller was like the devs going... Hold on, I'm reading this a second. The dev's going, oh, we just remembered Athena's a lawyer too. What else give us? Yeah, it's very clearly the case that is designed so that people can't say that Athena didn't get to do anything. So that they're like, hey, look, she's still in the game, and I screwed that up. Okay. Hey, look, she's still in the game, but she's not. She may as well not be in the game. With how little importance that case has, she may as well not even be in the game at all. Which is frustrating. Almost 5K subscribers, congrats, man. Thank you for the congratulations. Unfortunately, if I reach 5K subscribers before the end of the year, which is looking more and more likely, that means I'm gonna have to stream Sunshine next year in January. So, that's gonna be fun. Can't wait to fail at Sunshine again. Because I'm gonna do the full game, start to finish. Not 100% though. Just, I might do all the missions. I don't know. I'll plan out my Sunshine stream if I cross that bridge, which I'm hoping I won't have to. I'm hoping that my sub-characters become stagnant for the rest of the year, so I don't have to play it. But you know, if it comes true, I am a man of my word. I stay true to my promises, and we will see. Okay, I gotta move. We'll see what happens. Can you imagine how good a new Ascendant would be? Like, oh, like, could you, yeah, on next-gen hardware with current technology, it'd be amazing. I would honestly love to see what a modern Ace Attorney game would look like. And not like a modern game as in remastering the old stuff, like what they did with Grace Attorney Chronicles. I mean, like, a full-fledged next-gen game. That could look phenomenal. Yes, that was awful. Will I do Pachinko? No, I will not do any of the bonus stuff. I will not do any of the bonus stuff around Delfino Isle. I will only do the main missions. I will never touch that stupid Pachinko machine ever again. Never, ever, ever again will I ever touch that Pachinko machine. That is a spawn of Satan. I will never touch that stupid machine ever again. That's not happening. I'll play Sunshine again if I reach 5K subscribers, but that's not. We'd have to have a very special milestone for me to do that machine again. And even then, I don't know if I'd be willing to do that to myself. Athena just tries to be important. It always makes me giggle because she always gets. Yeah, it's like the one line that really annoys me is in the final case where they're all in the hideout, and Athena's like, "Hey, I'm cool. I'm a good lawyer. I'm a great character. I want to help too." And Apollo and Phoenix are like, "Nah, you get sidelined because this is Apollo's game." Which I get it, like, Apollo is the star of the show, it's the finale of his arc, but you can still make Athena not be useless in the process. No, it's just always, because it's the fact that it's Athena and Maya that gets sidelined that really rubs me the wrong way, because it's both their characters that get shafted in the process. Ugh. When a duel has everyone bullied Apollo, it's time for Athena to suffer. Well, yeah, but, I mean, it's not, she didn't. Because Apollo and Athena were at each other's throats, like, equally. Like, that's kind of what I like about their dynamic, is they kind of butt heads in terms of they make fun of each other a lot as like, really close friends and co-workers. But they're never mean to each other, and they don't, like, leave each other out of stuff. So it just feels so out of character and weird for her to just get left behind. So I think I'm going to need to increase my health and mana before I go forward here. Don't know what the original trilogy did, but I feel like after that the games have been missing something. I can understand why you think that for some of them, but I think the series has found its footing again. Like from Dual Destinies was a great start to get back on track, and then obviously everything else that came out afterwards, from Spirit of Justice onward, and then obviously with Shuja coming back at the helm for the Greatest Hits Chronicles, they stumbled a bit in the middle there, but they found their footing again. So I think if they make a new Ace Attorney game, which I'm still not convinced that they will, but if they do, I think they've found their footing. I think we're on track for good content moving forward. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm hoping that we will be. Okay, do I have the arrows for this? I do. Okay. Hello, friends. Let's first get this out and have a little bit of this on for size. Come closer. See you later, friends. Hold steady. Take a little of that. And there's just one guy left. Okay, I'm running low on health, so I'm going to play it safe with you. Part of the reason for Athena's creation was a negative reception to Trucy in Japan, if I recall. So I can understand why the knee-jerk response there would be to make a new character. But I still think I mean, I guess also, Trucy also kind of gets sidelined. I mean, Trucy just isn't in Dual Destiny. She's just not in it at all. But at least Trucy gets her scene with Apollo in the detention center. So it's better than nothing. But I do kind of wish, because I didn't like Trucy at first, but after her Dual Destiny Spirit of Justice, I've come around to her a little bit. She's grown on me a little bit as a character. I hope they give her something cool to do in the next game. Nayuta versus Yusuke, because Nayuta's an asshole, but Yusuke was, like, actually being creepy to An. So, yeah, that, Yusuke's worse, easily. Wait. Looks like I missed a treasure, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. Not the end of the world if I missed one of the treasures. I still regret buying Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Mario 6... Yeah, okay. Mario 64 does not hold up well at all. I don't know why people think Mario 64 is a good game. It's not. It really isn't. Sunshine does not control well at all. Correct. You're right about that. I also don't know why people think Sunshine is good. Switch motion controls have failed me too often to make the game a fun experience. Yeah, I can understand that. I think Galaxy... being able to play Galaxy on the Switch is great, because Galaxy, of those 3 games, Galaxy easily runs the best. Sunshine runs well. Well, sorry, let me restart. Sunshine runs adequately. Mario 64 runs awful. Galaxy runs the best. And of the game's construction, 64 and Sunshine just aren't fun to play. They don't control well at all. But Galaxy is actually a good game that holds up well, and to play it on the Switch is great. Would I rather hang out with Yusuke or Kawakami? Kawakami gives me coffee, so Kawakami. Also, Kawakami is just, like, in a hard spot. Like, I don't like that she lied to me, but at least she's just in a hard spot, like, doing because a lot of people were saying that it was uncomfortable that she was spending time with the protagonist, and like, I understand why that comes to the conclusion, but my thing there is, like, the way Kawakami was characterized in that scene is that she understood that if she actually continued to offer her quote-unquote maid services to Joker after she knew that he was a high school student, that she knew that would be morally reprehensible if she actually did it. But once she realized that he was a high school student, she immediately stopped and she immediately, like, backed off. So that's gonna be a problem. Okay. Didn't want to waste that, but, so yeah, I understand why people think that, but I do think the game does a good job of accounting for the fact that, like, she understands that if she continued down that route with Joker, that would have been bad, but she understands that what she was doing was wrong, so she accounted for it. Are you saying Mario 64 is a bad game in general? Yes. Mario 64 is not, it doesn't hold up well. It was revolutionary when it came out because of the camera controls, but it has not held up well under any scrutiny. It is terrible. It's awful. Thoughts on the Dragon Quest Warrior series? Never played a game in it, so I can't really comment on it. No stake in it whatsoever. I don't know anything about it. What'd you miss? You missed us talking about, basically how Athena was mistreated in Spirit of Justice and how she deserves so much better than what she got in terms of her involvement with the plot. When it comes to Persona games, you hope for a new one where Philemon is a party again. That doesn't mean anything to me. If he's a character, I haven't met him yet. So I don't quite know who that is. Take a little bit of that. Nice. I love the Whirlwind. Whirlwind Sword plus Dragon Flame equals Devastation. If they make a new Ace Attorney game, where you think Shugo Takumi will write it? Maybe. I mean, he's still at Capcom, right? He's at, I think he still works at Capcom, and the guy who wrote Dual Destiny Spirit of Justice left last year, so he might. I don't know for sure. Like, I don't know for sure if that would be the case. I don't know who would write it. But I hope it's Shu Takumi, because he clearly knows what he's doing with the franchise. He's clearly a very, like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have an undying respect for Shu Takumi. He's a very competent writer, and he clearly knows exactly what he's doing with writing. Because it wasn't just the original trilogy, it wasn't just Ghost Trick, and it wasn't just Great City Chronicles. All 3 of those games, he knocked out of the ballpark. He tried his best to save Professor Layton whenever he could, and Apollo Justice was just him having his hands tied behind his back. Whenever he's in full control of the story, he knows how to make it incredible. I have nothing but respect for Shu Takumi and his craft, and I hope to see more work from him in the future. You don't think Shu Takumi would like to continue the Dual Destiny Spirit of Justice story? He might, well, maybe not, but I think if anyone, because I don't know what Shu Takumi thinks of those games, but for instance, if he doesn't like if he thinks that they don't do the original trilogy justice, I think he would be the most suited person on the planet to kind of get the series, get that storyline back into his idea for how the series should have ended, kind of thing. Because like, if I were ever given the chance to write Toy Story 5, I would jump at the chance to fix what Toy Story 4 broke, kind of thing. You think that Super Mario 64 slash 64 DS video might be a good watch? I've never seen that video, but I also haven't played Super Mario 64 DS, so I've heard that it makes improvements over the original, but I've also heard that trying to play a 3D platformer with the stupid controls on the DS, it's less than desirable. So I just don't think Super 64 holds up at all, but I can't judge the DS version at all. How would an Ace Attorney Danganronpa crossover work? It would not work at all. Is it possible for it to be good? No, it's not. I mean, well, I guess it's. I technically can't say it's impossible because that's not fair to say it's impossible. But like someone just said, it's unlikely to be good. It's very, very unlikely for that game to be, for that Habitat of crossover to end well, because it would infest. Because the two games are just on such polar opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of quality and the design of the games. It just doesn't work. You mean a complete new Danganronpa universe? Well, I don't know. At that point, you just may as well not even call it Danganronpa anymore. But that's what V3 should have been. It was a new Danganronpa universe. Still understand how the entire cinema laughed when they heard Randy Newman saying "Don't commit suicide" like it's funny. Because people don't think. Because they don't. I guarantee you they didn't listen to the lyrics. Because that's how that scene is designed. It's designed so that you're distracted by the bouncy. You're distracted by the bouncy instrumental, and you're distracted by the shiny colors, and you're distracted by funny Spork trying to throw himself away, so you don't actually listen to the music, or so you don't listen to the lyrics, so you don't understand what's being said. But they know. Josh Cooley knows what he did. He knows what he wrote in that scene.
Forgive me for playing such a cruel
If I make a
trick on
review on 64 DS version would be interesting, I don't care enough, honestly. I'm not passionate enough about 64 to actually delve into the comparison between those two games. So,
and my dim-witted dragon sins was certainly no help.
They just feel the feelings the writers want you to feel. Yeah, their music and lighting are so goddamn good at manipulating an audience.
To guide you along your way.
They're so goddamn good at it. It's unreal.
And I see my
you think you wouldn't want to end a story you didn't make? That's I think that's a fair statement to make.
I shall rule
but like, if you present it, I do think that if you present him with the opportunity to say like, would you want to write the next game in the series? I think he might be interested in like seeing, because he wanted Phoenix's story to end with Child's Revelations. I think he might try to. I think he might be interested in trying to get his ending back on track with how he wanted it to end Child's Revelations. Kind of give a definitive endpoint for the series, so that there's no way they could ever get Phoenix back up again, kind of thing. Because he clearly wanted Phoenix's story to stop in Child's Revelations, but then they kept going anyway. So they might do that. Why don't I like non-stop debates? Because it's a cluttered mess, and your success is determined not by your ability to think logically and solve the mystery, but by your ability to freaking dodge around the words that fly by at the speed of sound, that teleport all over the place right when you're about to shoot at it, and when you have to lead your shots, which just only further complicates things. It's just a cluttered mess, and I hate it all. Because, like, you can fully understand the mystery and the logic behind it, which I did almost every time before the case began, or before the trial began. But then your success isn't determined. It's not like Ace Attorney where it's like, do you understand the mystery? Cool, then you can solve the case. Too bad, not in Danganronpa, too bad, now you gotta play a first-person shooter, which, by the way, big fan of Halo here. For those who don't know, Halo's an FPS game, but I don't want to, if I want to play a visual novel mystery game, that means I don't want to play an FPS right now. Yet here we are, and I'm playing an FPS in my visual novel game. Why is this happening? I don't know, but it sucks. Could non-stop debates work properly? Honestly, I don't know. I don't like to say, I usually like to say it could be good if done well. The problem is, I usually have an idea of how it could be done well, but I do not have any idea off the top of my head for how you could realistically make the non-stop debate into a well-executed, fun gameplay mechanic. I don't know how I would fix that.
You think you've won, don't you?
What game series would I want Ace Attorney cross over with?
I've absorbed all of the power of the essences. You will find that I'm not so easily vanquished.
I don't really have any desires for an Ace Attorney crossover. After Professor Layton's crossover, I'm not super jazzed on the idea of that.
No matter. I've absorbed enough energy to destroy you and everyone else in this pitiful kingdom.
That said,
Now witness
if Persona 5 goes down the kind of corrupted justice system route it might be going down with the whole prosecutor and the emphasis they're placing on what justice is with the Phantom Thieves, it might be interesting to see if, like, how Ace Attorney's court system would jive well with Persona 5's, like, the prosecutor and all that. That could be interesting to see. Anyway, yeah, final boss time, and here's that epic music. I'm gonna let this music play for a second. As kind of he has his moment. I love this moment. Am I gonna be done? Don't move. Yep, that's why you gotta move. You take a second to revel in the moment of the awesome music and the awesome camera, and then you gotta move before you die by lightning. It's a whiplash of reactions there. Alright, I'm gonna try to focus on the boss here. I'll go into chat occasionally, but I gotta, yeah, that's what I kind of missed that shot there for that. Okay, I guess I can read chat now. Normal hit ones and normal time. Dealt to point out a contradiction to read the text. Well, yeah, I mean, first things first, you gotta fix the hitboxes. You gotta fix the hitbox before anything else, because there's so many times where either the hitboxes were broken, or I would literally, the word would hit the thing, and like the contradiction was correct, because I would try a second time, and it would work. The contradiction was correct, the logic was sound, the game just decided, nah, you don't get to get this correct today, screw you. Which is frustrating. Imagine if the Ace Attorney crew became Phantom Thieves and went into the metaverse. That'd be interesting. I mean, it could be good. It could be. I don't really have a burning desire to see any crossover with that, so I don't really have any really, like, I want this crossover kind of thing. But, you know, there is potential there. So, I mean, I guess technically speaking, I wasn't paying attention there at all. There is potential for a bunch of crossover ideas. I just don't, I'm not super, crossovers don't tend to end well when you try to do them, so I guess I just wouldn't be super keen on the idea of trying it in the first place. But there is potential for it to work at some point. So I think someone mentioned Ace Attorney and Ghost Trick. Yeah, there is a kind of a thing of how, well, the whole Tempstick project being a whole misunderstanding and how you have to save someone being from receiving the death penalty, so that could work. I'm just trying to think of what games would work well with the kind of with the courtroom setup, because that's kind of why it's hard to figure out something that would work well, is because you have to center it around the idea of how you work it into the courtroom mechanic. So I don't know about that. But if Shuji Takumi ever tried to make a Ghost Trick Ace Attorney crossover, I'd be interested to see what he does with that, to say the least. You think Super Mario 64 is a great game and you agree it doesn't hold up today? Played through the entirety of the HD fan point with the improved camera controls and is excellent. The HD fan point, the one that Nintendo doesn't want you to have. Yeah, I mean, so it could be good. Problem is that camera and controls are fundamental elements of a 3D platformer. Like, those are, if camera and controls are crap in a 3D platforming game, your foundation is broken, because that is the whole thing. Movement controls and camera controls are the foundation of a 3D platformer. So I have to head out, front stream. Thanks for stopping by, Bad Game Slayer. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. We're just about wrapping up the game here, and I'll see you next time. But yeah, like, the fundamental of a platforming game is the movement and the camera. So if you don't have that, then what are you left with at that point? Like, I guess you can still have a good level design, but like at that point, the fun of exploring the levels is going to be neutered if you have to struggle, if you have to fight the game's controls to actually get it to that point in the first place. So it's frustrating. That'd be frustrating to see. Same thing with Sunshine. Like, Sunshine, I love the atmosphere of Sunshine with the whole beach environment, but it doesn't really matter how cool the atmosphere is if the controls make me want to throw my controller at the goddamn wall, which is what happened when I played that stupid bird level and the pachinko level. But, you know, cross the bridge when I come to it. Also, that's the game done. 2 hours, 51 minutes, minus probably 3 minutes because I did an intro. Actually, I guess minus, like, maybe a little less than 10 minutes, so a little less than 3 hours. Maybe like a little over 2 hours, 40 some minutes. And that is the game completed. Whew. And that's the happily ever after.
Dirk, my hero.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of know this game like the back of my hand, so I can get through it in just about, well, less than 3 hours. But the average playtime for this is about 4 to 7 hours for those who don't... Like, I blitzed through that, and because I was able to talk to chat the whole time and just kind of playing in the background. Because I know the game so well that I can just go autopilot, essentially. I know the puzzle solutions, I know the correct route to the castle, I know the best places to get loot stashes and all that. I know the most efficient route to get through them, to get all the power-ups. I know how to beat this game efficiently. But first-time players, you know, exploring at your own pace, trial and error in terms of, like, beating the bosses and finding the best routes to go through everything, takes around 4 to 7 hours, because that's just going based on YouTube playthroughs I've seen, where some Let's Plays are around 4 hours, some around 7 hours, somewhere in between. My walkthrough, I think, is 4 hours long, because of the extra time I take to make sure I explain things well. So, yeah. That is a full playthrough of Dragon's Lair 3D Return to the Lair, what is undoubtedly my favorite game of all time. This is fun. This is a fun stream. I'm not going to end the stream yet, because I want to wrap it up when we get back to the title screen. I want to let the credits play to give credit to everyone, every single person who worked on this game to help bring this masterpiece to the world. Because I do believe, like, it's not that people hate the game, because if you find reviews of this game, for the most part, except for like 1 or 2, the reviews are positive. So it's not that people don't like it, it's just that no one knows about it. Like, no one actually knows what this game is because they've never ever heard of it. So that's why that's what I wanted to change with my video, was I wanted to take the time to kind of explain why this game is so good, from the story to the gameplay to the level design, music, atmosphere, and all that. Just to bring more attention to it and shine a brighter spotlight on a game that doesn't get the appreciation and recognition that it deserves. So, very, very happy that I decided that I made that video, because I've gotten a lot of comments from people saying, like, hey, you, I never heard this game before, and I know about it now thanks to your video, and I'm gonna play it now. So that's why I made the video, was to get to have people comment, like, and say, hey, I never heard of it before, but now I know about it because this video I'm gonna play for myself. In fact, I just got a tweet today saying, like, hey, I've heard that because of your video I'm gonna check this game out. So that's why I made the video, because I want more people to play the game. And if what you saw today appeals to you at all, then by all means pick up a copy of the game for yourself, whether it's on eBay or something else. I recommend playing it. It's on Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation 2, and PC. And no matter what platform you play it on, it is worth it. I promise you'll have a blast playing through it, and you won't regret it. There's a reason. You may be annoyed that I keep mentioning my video and all my analysis stuff, like, hey, check out this video. But I do think it's one of my best videos I've ever made, because I really think it's one of my best pieces of work, and I really want more people to play this game to experience its awesomeness. So, yeah, I'm hoping that more people get a chance to check this out. To everyone, dedicated to all Dragon's Lair fans worldwide, and to everyone who, in one way or another, helped with the production of Dragon's Lair 3D. And that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I think going to that website just leads you to a 404 error now, which is sad, but just reminds you of the good old days. You go to Dragon's Lair and many others, but just the arcade games and not the 3D platformer. Yeah, that's most people. Most people have heard of, like, everyone's heard of the arcade game. Almost no one's heard of Dragon's Lair 3D, which is a shame. Very fun stream. Thank you. I'm glad you had a good time. And there's some stuff I could show off in the gallery. Like, there's the documentary of how the game was made. There's the cutscenes you can watch. You watch the credits again. So it's cool stuff like that. I also like how the background If you scroll back to the beginning of the stream, you'll see it's still, oh really? It's still up? Oh, I didn't actually know that. But yeah, if you check the if you scroll back to the beginning of the stream and you check the background of the main menu, it's a lot brighter than it is now. So it kind of simulates the passage of time. It's like when you started, it was the morning, and now at the end, now you beat the game, it's nighttime because your mission's complete. So it's a small little detail, but I really like it. It kind of adds to the full circle atmosphere of the game. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna leave things here. Shorter stream, much more relaxed, chill stream than Monday. Monday was stressful beyond. I mean, I had fun playing Halo, and it was interesting to kind of talk about Toy Story 4 live with someone else. But it was definitely much more stressful than I intended. But this is a much more relaxed, chill stream. Got to talk with all of you. Hopefully I read your message. If I missed your message, I'm sorry. I tried to keep an eye on the chat as I played. But hopefully I still managed to cover as many things that were brought up in chat as I could. Hopefully you found my responses to your chat messages satisfying and substantive. And I hope that you enjoyed yourself if you're having a rough day. And hopefully this stream is able to help you cheer up and help brighten your mood a little bit. I don't think it's the official website. I actually haven't checked. So I don't know for sure. I guess I can just check right. Well, actually, that might type me out. Hold on, I'll just check. I'll check. But yeah, I was pretty sure the website was taken down, so I was surprised when someone said it was still up. But yeah, I don't know. It's in WordPress. It's a foreign language. Oh yeah, it's yeah. In that case, it's probably not. It's probably not the same thing. I was pretty sure the website was taken down last time I checked. So that makes more sense. But yeah, if you were having a rough day, hopefully this stream was able to cheer you up and brighten your mood a little bit. Certainly brightened my mood a little bit, and hopefully you all enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you had a good time hanging out and talking. And I guess that'll be it for today. So updates. I'm still planning on taking a break from regular videos for the rest of the month. I'll be back on December 1st. I'll do a couple more of these streams. I'm probably gonna do a Mario Kart stream later this month, kind of like I did last time where we all play together. I'll probably do another Halo stream, maybe this weekend, unsure. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, no videos till December 1st, but I will keep streaming to kind of keep in touch with you all, to kind of keep the channel active. And until next time, hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and I hope to see you all soon for whatever you decide to watch next. Have a good day, everybody.